Bam, we're live. Hey. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. Sousa, hi.
Good morning.
Mornings are crazy. Mornings are wild. Because I open my phone and the whole world just like falls into your face. It's so crazy. I was just watching a video of Christmas Abbott getting in a bar fight. It was nuts.
What?
I know. Tomorrow's show's going to be funny. And then I was reading the comments from yesterday's show. Wow. Holy cow. Wow. People are fired up. People are fired up. Thank you, everyone, for the education. Everyone needs to settle down just a smidge, but thank you. Wow, we got so much to talk about. Listen, we're going to try we got all sorts of new stuff coming down the pipe. Starting with this show is going to be interesting. I expect a lot from our guest because he's always wonderful. I'm not sure what to expect from the audience because this is the first time we've done this. We were going to do a dating show with Danielle Brandon where people could call and get advice on like dating. And in her only, I guess her street cred is that she's so hot. She's had to deal with just a lot of dudes hitting on her. And I just like her, love her to death. And she's raw and real, but we couldn't pull that off. Right. Or not yet, but
not yet.
But a close sister cousin to that show would be to have Chris Cooper on. And although he might not be an expert in dating advice, he is an expert in running a small business, specifically gyms. Anywhere on planet Earth where we live, regardless if you think the Earth is flat or round, the advice it translates to both. That's correct, right?
Still works, yeah. That's right.
It's awesome. It's good advice. Great stuff. Always a great guest. So we're gonna open up the phone lines and anyone can call in. Two more things. We've picked up 4 sponsors. And we've switched to a different hosting company. A hosting company is basically wherever our podcast, whenever the podcast is done, Sousa beams it up to a hosting company. And then from there, it goes to Amazon, Spotify, iTunes. It goes to all of those places. So then you guys can access it through apps. Well, this guy that we've switched to, his name is Zach, and the name of his company is called Proven Grit. He's picked up a ton of sponsors for us. And I'm going to have to do some readings of those sponsors. So you guys got to bear with me. But I do think that they're going to be fun. One is like for therapy. So like, let's say you're just, we have a world full of people blaming other people for their problems. So I think that that's a great sponsor for us. We can point you to therapy so you can stop blaming other people and get control of your life. One of them is Manscaped, and I already used their shaver. I use their ball shaver on my face. I don't know if that's going to be a good fit, but I don't usually use it on my genitalia. I've never used it on my genitalia.
Not yet.
And then there's 2 other sponsors, but I am excited about them, all of it, and trying it. I did have some apprehension about doing readings, and so we've had the sponsors for like 2 months, but I've been avoiding doing it. And but yesterday we got on a phone call, and I think we can work it into the show, so it's funny, and I don't want to spend any of that the truth equity that I've built. So unfundable, I know, and I am concerned that we could lose the sponsors quickly based on how I present them, but I do think it will be good for the sponsors. Just some people might not see it. Okay. With little, what do they say in vaudeville? With little ado, Mr. Chris Cooper, Two Brain Business. Chris, what's up, dude?
Hey guys, great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Twice in a row, Sousa. Sousa and I are trying to put you on top, and we keep
I do it at the same exact time. Okay.
I'm not doing it. You do it. I'm staying in my lane. I'm staying in my lane.
There it is.
It doesn't matter to me where I go.
Now that Sevan is owned by Manscaped, he won't be able to speak about his true feelings about big bushes. Listen, I love everything natural, and I will continue to stay true to my love for whatever creator we have, how he made us. You know that's true. All right. Chris.
Good way to frame it.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. This is fun. Thousands. How many gyms do you think there are on planet Earth that are mom and pop owned? Is that fair? Is that fair? And by mom
just
and
over.
Pop, obviously, I don't mean moms and dads, but I mean small boutique gyms that are where group classes, coaching, what looks like the CrossFit model.
Probably about just under 40,000 is our best estimate. If you don't count personal training studios in that number, group classes. Yeah.
And that includes places like Westside Barbell too. Like we have some just like places in our town that are proud to be just like the Steel Gym. Like that includes 40,000, including those.
Yeah. Starting Strength has I don't know. They have a bunch of franchisees even, but I would also include like the F45s and the Orangetheories in that group.
Okay.
Number 2.
And those are basically the F45 and the Orangetheory. Those are basically like, I'm not really sure how the franchise model works, but that it's basically a CrossFit gym, but you have to follow certain rules, right? Like signage and classes and programming and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, they're corporate owned, they're not corporate owned. You become a franchisee. They tell you exactly how to run it. They usually have like one key metric or one kind of twist. So F45, you go in and like all the exercise demos happen on a screen, and there are some low paid coaches circulating to make sure that you're not actually going to brain yourself with like the dumbbell. Orangetheory, it's a little bit closer to the CrossFit model. It's just like they're going to focus on your heart rate, and they've made that really simple and easy to understand. And they usually charge about double what a CrossFit gym charges. So,
I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay.
Oh yeah, at least. Yeah. The average owner profit from an Orangetheory is between 400,000 and 800,000 in their first year.
Orangetheory. Could you listen? Let's be smart here. Could you have Sousa owns CrossFit Livermore? This has already gone off the rails, but we have to. Sousa owns CrossFit Livermore. Are there any places where there's a CrossFit gym and an Orangetheory in the same building?
I'm sure there are. I don't know any of them offhand, but it could happen. And like, so what happens though is an Orangetheory is more of an investor asset, where a CrossFit gym is an owner-operator business, right? You're buying yourself a job, changing lives that you're passionate about. You're probably going to be delivering. In an Orangetheory, I'm going to buy the territory. I'm probably never going to coach a class in that gym. And, it's going to cost me whatever their franchise fee is, well over $1 million. And it's funny that the person that they're touting right now is like their biggest success story is somebody who used to own McDonald's. Orangetheory is like the McDonald's version of CrossFit. And their big success story is like this former McDonald's franchisee who sold all of his McDonald's, and now he has this healthy business.
Oh, wow. So as a success story, you mean as a business person, not as a weight loss story?
Right. I mean, he is losing weight. Good on him. He's making these lifestyle choices. But
in this space we don't, and I do not mean this as a dig at all. But in this space, I don't remember ever celebrating really business owners for their business acumen. Like we don't hold someone up and be like, oh my God, look at Craig Howard. He has 600 members and his gym has been running for 15 years. And we don't really do too much of that. It's mostly like, holy cow, look at this person lost 100 pounds. Look, this person, their NFL career was over and now they got one more year by going to Chris Cooper's gym, stuff like that.
Well, I do it. So we publish leaderboards every single month about this stuff. The reason that CrossFit HQ has never wanted to do it in the past is because it's really hard to tell who's telling the truth about that. And it's also really hard to quantify who's successful. Like I could have 600 clients and not be making any money at all and still close next month. But I think we've talked about that before.
We have. I always forget that. So Two Brain Business has a leaderboard.
Yeah, for different metrics. So most clients is one. Highest value per client is one. Most revenue is one. Most take home is one. And we publish these. We publish them internally every month, but we rotate and publish them anonymously every month too.
I guess it's I guess overhead's always a big issue on determining a gym's success. It's like a metric that can comparing a gym in Manhattan versus Iowa. In the tech business, I remember, I don't know if it's true this to this day anymore, but when I was employable, there was this metric where you wanted your revenue, like the gold standard would be your revenue would be $1 million per employee. So if you had $100 million company with 100 employees and you were in Silicon Valley, you were the shit, right? That was like, pretty amazing, right? And is there something like that for CrossFit too? Is there some number that jumps in your head, like, hey, if you have, but not for employees, but for clients? Like I've heard you say 50 clients is you keep both nostrils above water, and 150 clients and you actually can buy avocados and consider having a child. Yeah.
I mean, the number.
My words, not yours. Those are the metrics I like.
The avocado. Yeah. Avocados per client.
Yes, exactly.
Well, they don't yet because nobody's ever tracked any numbers in CrossFit until we did. But that is an interesting metric. I think the closest that we would have to that would be ARM, which is like if you took all your revenue and you divided it by the number of clients you have, the average revenue per member, ARM, should be about 205.
Okay, yeah, that is exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You're 10 minutes in and you're wondering why Chris Cooper. So Chris has a ton of experience, but he also he has a ton of experience. He has a ton of clients. He from the metrics that I've seen and what I know, he runs the largest gym consulting business in the world. And not only that, I'm making this number up, 150 people that I've spoke to over the years that have used Two Brain Business, I've only heard one, and it was actually recently where it wasn't a fit. Only one. Now I'm not saying that there hasn't been more than one, but it was only one. And I don't know a lot of details about it, but there is a gym in my sphere that's circling the bowl, and they've had some interaction. They were already circling the bowl, and then they had some interactions with Two Brain and they're still with Two Brain, by the way. They haven't given up, but I've heard some frustration. But other than that, it's been like a fucking perfect record, which is pretty crazy, including Matt Souza. That's how I met Matt Souza. My sister told me the story can't be told enough, but basically I had Chris on the CrossFit podcast. Matt was a listener of the CrossFit podcast. He heard it. He tinkered with his gym with some of the stuff that Chris shared. He read Chris's books, and it didn't even purchase that. You weren't even a client of theirs, right?
No, I couldn't even afford to pay attention at that point. So we were.
and Souza literally called me a couple years later and says, "Hey, I owe you something." And I said, "What for?" He said, "Because when you had Chris Cruza, when you had Chris Cooper on, Sevan, it changed my life and my gym. And for the first time in my life, my gym was profitable. So that was pretty damn amazing."
Thanks.
Yeah, it's great. And every time we have you on, the feedback's amazing. We can't have you on enough.
Oh, that's great. Well, you taught me to enjoy sparkling water. So I'd like to thank you.
Oh no.
One of the first times I was at your house, you had this big stack of LaCroix, and it was in case I think Haley's nephews ever came over. You wanted to give them an alternative to.
Oh, wow. I remember that. You were there for that?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I'm the ghost in your house, Sevan.
I mean, he's unsettled now. He's like,
since then, Chris, I've really tried to stop drinking sparkling water. We'll talk afterwards. But when my nephews still do come to town, I like to go buy like 10 cases of sparkling water and just stack it in the kitchen because I know it's exciting for them to drink. So
I think that's what happened.
Yeah. Come to the uncle's house and get the treat. Sevi, LaCroix. I've since switched to the cheaper Select brand.
You were all about that LaCroix back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, it's free.
When would this have been? 2018-ish. I don't know. That's a guess.
Yeah, that was the year. That was the year we were doing the podcast. The podcast.
2017. I could actually tell you because that was a rough period for me, so I remember it very vividly.
There you go. Souza knows.
I know.
We didn't even know Souza. He was a stain on the wall. He was a peon back then.
I was just an unread DM.
Yes.
That's all I was.
Chris is having a summit in Chicago very soon. Can you tell us about the summit, Chris?
Yeah, so I try to just bring gym owners together once a year and bring in speakers that I think would help what they're going through right now. And so like a couple of years ago, we had Jocko Willink, we've had Seth Godin, Lisa Nichols, some really big names. This year, it's June, I believe it's 7th and 8th in Chicago. And we'll do a couple days. Khalipa's going to lead workouts every morning. Then he'll speak a little bit. Dan Martell. Yeah, there we go. Right on. Dan Martell will speak. I mean, there's 30 some vendors, 400 people have already registered. So it's just awesome. Like I couldn't even get a speaking spot on my own stage this year because the other speakers are so amazing that I got bumped. But yeah.
Caller, caller hung up. Sorry, caller. We didn't get to them fast enough. Hey, and can anyone go, or do you have to be a client?
No, anybody can go. Yeah, there's still some tickets. I think there's just under 200 tickets left, but it will sell out. It usually does. And Probably half of our clients are CrossFit gyms, just over half now, I think 53% or something. So just over 400 CrossFit gyms in the program now, but a lot of them will be there. And it's cool though. Like, we're going to put you at a table with 7 other owners. You're going to make friends for life. People take vacations together with the others that they met at Summit. So the whole point is really just to connect you with an infrastructure.
I'm projecting, but what do you say to the people who are like me, who just don't want to travel? They're adverse to meeting new people, and they're socially they like their gym, they're good at that, they like coaching, but they're just avoiding going. What would be a selling point? Why go there?
Well, I mean, I'm in that boat because we're leaving for Stockholm in about 4 or 5 hours to speak there, and I'm kind of just over the travel right now. But my advice is do it anyway. You hate it till you start. It's like CrossFit, right? Like,
I was
5
going to say
minutes
it's like
before the
sex.
class,
I was
like,
going to
what
say
the
it's
hell am I
like
doing?
sex. All right.
You hate sex till you start. Yeah,
Till it
absolutely.
starts. Yeah. Then you're like, all right, this is, thank you
Settle
for
in.
twisting my arm.
If I could say, I would just recommend going to something like that just for the energy. Like, especially if you've been in it for a long period of time and you could get around like-minded people, talk shop. You were like, oh, these are my people. I feel like I could have conversations and take a lot away from that. So that's why I would say you should go.
Yep.
Manny Spiegel, what about a Sevan chat meetup at the Summit? Well, that is a brilliant idea.
Yeah, if only Sevan would show up, and if only somebody had thought to invite him. Yeah.
So go. What Sousa said really resonates with me, because I remember even as a kid, like going to camp or something, and I wouldn't want to go, and every time I went, I was like, oh my God, that was so great, and I came home reinvigorated for life. So it's reinvigorating at its bare minimum.
Yeah. Like, I want people to fall in love with owning a gym again. And I know that when you're off by yourself, sitting in your basement, programming or whatever, it's easy to question, like, what am I doing here? But the reality is, when you're in a room with 600 gym owners and everybody is really excited about owning a gym, you can just gain so much momentum that the rest of the year feels like you're coasting downhill.
How many people will be there in total?
Well, 600 tickets anyway, plus some vendors, some speakers. I mean, I'm bringing my staff because I want them to hear from other people and get really fired up about their job. And then what always happens is they come back and they've got their own ideas that they've picked up that they want to run with. And I say, I'm taking the next month off. Great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations for doing that. And it's interesting. Do you get a lot of thank yous?
Yeah, I do. And I print them out and I stick them on a wall. Sometimes I need them. So
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
By the way, I already know the next time I have you on, why I'm going to have you on. Yesterday, when I was digging around on YouTube, I saw 2 videos that are both within the last 3 months, and I'm very curious what they are. And I didn't send them to Susie yet. I saw them late last night, but they're sort of, I don't know what they're going to be about, but it's basic. One of them is how to take your business from $0, or how I took my business from $0 to $5 million in 5 years.
Yeah.
And I was looking at that and I'm like, wow, I haven't seen Chris really. It was a more ambiguous space. Anyway, I saw that you have that video, and then you have another video that looks like it was similarly titled to that. And yeah, I'm excited to see those.
We could talk about that, but like, my mission right now is just to get especially kids, but everybody thinking about entrepreneurship as a career choice. And so I have a new site called businessisgood.com where I'm just presenting the perspective that they don't see. Most of our kids are brought up in the Disney world where everybody with money is bad and everybody that's bad has money, and like, entrepreneurs are rich because they took from other people and all this other stuff. So part of my mission now is just like give people entrepreneurial skill sets or options. So we could talk about that another time for sure.
It sounds like a favorite subject of mine. The burpee dude. Happy birthday, Audrey. Okay.
Happy birthday, Audrey. Congrats.
Happy birthday.
You made it another year.
You made it. Yeah.
Dog dad baby CrossFit. Is that really the name of your gym? No, CrossFit Fairway Park. Okay. Good morning from California. Wow, that's a tough place to be. Chris saved my gym. I owe him everything. Thank you, Chris. See you in June.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. I want to show you. I promise you guys this show will get going. I want to show you.
Is it this video in the email? Did you want me to bring it up?
Well, I want to show him this one. I saw this one this morning. This is a newborn baby. I was just wondering if this is in any of your. Can you see the screen? Okay, Chris.
Yeah.
This is a newborn baby, and the father is covering it with $100 bills. Is this talked about in any of your books for your entrepreneurial studies?
Yeah, I mean, people in the Muslim faith whisper a prayer into their baby's ear. I tell people, cover your baby in hundos.
This is crazy. Hey, I heard a stat that every $100 bill in the United States has cocaine residue on it. And I just see that and I'm like, well, enough of those and the baby's going to get a bump. Okay. We can't let Chris. We're not done with you yet, Chris. By the way, I caught your
Science.
joke. Science. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I caught your joke on the Khalifa podcast that I don't think Jason caught, where you talked about the ease of doing the open workouts. I want to tell you I appreciated that. I don't know if you remember that part, but you made a
no.
Okay, fine. Now this is a bizarre video. Most of you are not going to understand why I'm showing Chris this, but you quickly will. Study Chris's face closely as he sees this. See if he has it.
I literally have this. I have this 20 feet from me.
This is when you ball like Chris, these are the types of things that you purchase. You think Ferraris and shit? No.
So I did bring that up on the Khalifa podcast,
Yes.
and then I texted him a picture of it. Like, oh, I don't have that. No, that's the kitten that was born and wrapped in $100 bills that buys the treadmill.
And that's the ghetto kitten. Hey, so is this a Canadian thing because your cat can't go outside because it's so cold? So you just put a circle in the house?
I mean, it's literally snowing this morning, and it's April 26th. So it's funny. I was skeptical when we got it, but she'll run down there and meow until somebody comes to watch her. So it's not just about doing it. It's like, if nobody took my picture, it doesn't count. It's very CrossFit.
All right. If you say so.
Yeah.
That thing is amazing. And your cat uses it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
She probably just does it for the Instagram followers, but whatever.
Right. I want to say what a stupid cat, but in probably a couple hours here, I'll be running on one in my garage. It's not a circle, but I guess I'm no smarter than the cat. Hey, it's just so you know, it's beach days here in California. So anyone who is hating on California, I understand the hatred, but today is a beach day after I get off the phone here with Mr. Cooper.
Yeah. Jealous.
How many gyms, how many CrossFit gyms, if there are, let's say there's let's say there's 10,000 CrossFit gyms right now.
Yeah.
How many since 2002 have failed?
My best guess is half, but
Let me rephrase that. Sorry. How many have closed down? Failed seems loaded.
Yeah,
How many?
exactly,
How many
yeah.
have opened and closed down? And we know that a lot of them are because people deploy, people get divorces for whatever reason. There was this thing where they tried to put masks on everyone for 2 years and stop people from going indoors. That thing happened. So how many gyms have closed down, do you think, since 2002? CrossFit gyms.
My best guess is over 10,000, and it's hard to figure that number out. But honestly, like, there are ways that you can count affiliates, and you can count affiliates that are actually open by checking their websites and stuff like that. And we do that about every quarter, so we get an accurate head count. But years ago, the first year that they listed all the affiliates on the wall at the CrossFit like affiliate thing at the games, it was interesting to look at like who wasn't there anymore. And, from my perspective, that means that, unfortunately, there's about 10,000 affiliates who have closed. And it's unfortunate, not because that's a failure, but because we haven't been able to learn anything from them. There's never been anybody saying like, what happened? Did you deploy? Did you, did you go to business because of masking mandates, or did you?
Chris?
I think like, that's probably a gold mine. And unfortunately, nobody's asking the question. And also the culture up till this point has been such that everybody associates closing with failure. They don't want to fail, so they don't tell you why. They're like, no, I'm ascending in my career to real estate, or I'm retiring from gym ownership. And those things are valid. Absolutely. But I think we can learn from every single one of those. And really help the next generation of affiliates ascend. So,
man, there's a lot of things like that you just said. I was thinking about when you said that about gyms closing and people being embarrassed. I was thinking about relationships too. When relationships are over, I think a lot of people are embarrassed, so they spin these negative stories, whether they're with your wife, your best friend, and they spin these stories that try to make them save face. But you probably don't learn from that. So, So does there need to be a book, How My Gym Failed? And is there a stereotypical failure story? Like, how there's like this, the hero's journey. Is there a stereotypical gym failure story?
Well, I think because most of us who open a gym are first-time entrepreneurs, there's probably 10,000 different failure stories. But the one thing they have in common is they all just ran out of time. So like they knew what they had to do to fix it, but they ran out of money and they just couldn't hang in there long enough, or possibly they were exhausted. I talk to owners all the time who say, I know what to do, but I don't have it in me to go through this for another 3 or 4 months. And really, if you track the people who closed down during masking mandates here in Canada, where we had like almost 2 straight years of lockdowns or mask mandates or whatever, almost everyone that I spoke to said, I give up, not like I'm being forced to close. Some did run out of money and that was unfortunate, but a lot of people were just so angry or exhausted or, so that's it. You either run out of time or you run out of money or you run out of patience. I've been luckily enough brought into a few negotiations where gyms were being sold to other gyms. And typically what happens is if the person that's selling hung in for 3 more months, fixed their gym up to a point where it was attractive to a buyer, they could probably have gotten double what they actually got for it. But they don't see a way forward, right? They've like run out of future. They can't see a bright light at the end of the tunnel.
What about and this is some like new age stuff, but what about just the fact that it's not that they're not following their purpose? Like, yeah,
that's true too. Yeah.
Do you think that that's often the case, or no? You can't. It's not. I'm looking for like one generic story. I see someone with tattoos and running shoes and gauge in their ear, and they're running down the street and they're covered in tattoos and they have the big earrings and they're really skinny. And I think, yep, former drug addict, or someone who's been to AA and now they found long, slow distance running and they're working out their shit. Is there? And you're probably right. I bet you 7 out of 10 times. Is there a story like that for gyms? Like it really wasn't that person's purpose?
Well, for me, I think it's a misunderstanding of their purpose. So for me, like I opened a gym thinking it was going to do well because I was a really good coach, or I thought I was a 10 out of 10. I was probably a 7 out of 10 as a coach, but I thought, well, I'm a good coach. The next logical conclusion here is like, open a gym. And what I didn't understand was that I needed to become a really good business owner. Now, if you've been brought up in an environment where you see business ownership, wealth creation, entrepreneurship as evil, then that is not going to align with your values that you picked up from your parents. And you're always going to be in conflict. When it comes time to ask somebody to pay you, you're going to have a real, conscious or unconscious problem there. When you have to raise rates, or you realize you made a mistake and you've grandfathered clients, now you have to take that away. Like you're going to struggle on a very deep level, and absolutely that could spike your gym.
Hey, so before you open a gym, what I heard you just say is you need to ask yourself the question, are you ready to make money? And as silly as that sounds, I know tons of people who fit that description of what you just said. They think being rich is evil. Like they see a fancy car drive by and they think bad person. They don't think, oh my God, that person must have worked so hard to get it.
That's right. Yeah. And that's a cultural problem, right?
Well, gym ownership would be perfect for them because it won't happen, so they're fine.
Hey,
well,
is that? Do you think? I know you're not a doctor, but do you think, medically speaking, that's just unhealthy to see? Do you think is there any benefit in seeing someone who's successful and poo-poo them? Oh my.
Well, I think what you'd call like an optimistic skeptic, and so I do. If Sousa rolls up today in his orange McLaren, and I'm going to wonder where he got it. And I'm very skeptical of people, especially online, who are like posting pictures of themselves leaning on a Ferrari. I'm very skeptical of that. But once I know how they got there, then yeah, I'm their biggest fan, as long as they didn't have to steal from somebody else to get there. But that's the problem, is like real entrepreneurship creates wealth and abundance for other people, and they grow the pie for everybody instead of just like taking from everybody else and accumulating wealth and hoarding it, which is unfortunately like, the 1% of entrepreneurs who are really highlighted in Walt Disney stories and every after school special.
Say that line again. Real entrepreneurs. Do you remember what you just said?
No, but basically like real entrepreneurs grow the pie for everybody. So for example, like when an economy is in crisis, who can actually grow the size of the economy? It's only the entrepreneurs. Like the government can't grow the economy. The unions can't grow the economy. The bureaucrats can't grow the economy. It's up to the entrepreneurs to build the economy by creating value and attracting money from other people in a way that serves them back, so that the economy can continue to grow and people will keep investing in them. And so if you want to turn an economy around, whether it's your own personal economy, or it's the economy of your business or the economy of your town or your whole nation, the way that you do that is by creating value for other people. And that's the message that does not get taught in high school or doesn't show up in Disney movies.
And when you say creating value for other people, you mean open a gym, hire people to clean the floors, hire people to teach there, hire people to paint the room. You're basically doing real job creation, not printing money and doing job
hoarding
creation.
it.
Yeah. I mean, so for example, like, my gym would have, there's 2 people who are full-time now and about 5 part-timers, right? But in total, I would pay corporate taxes of about $150,000 a year. Okay. So that money goes somewhere. I don't know where. All of the staff that I have, they're paying income taxes between 27 and 42%. That all goes to the government. Then everything that they buy, they're paying 13% sales tax on. That's going to the government. Like that's what's paying for healthcare and education and roads and everything else. That money isn't derived from the government, right? It's derived from taxes mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Caller, hi, and thank you.
Yeah, thanks for shutting me up.
Hey,
That's
what's
good.
up, guys?
No, you're great, Chris. You're great. There's more there. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Sevan? Guys, Coop, it's Juka.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, I felt compelled to call in because you told the story, Sevan, of I was never profitable. Heard people on the podcast called them, and I got profitable. Well, I had a similar one, and it's a short one, but I was sleeping in a hammock in my gym office, and I still have the hold up in my office so I wouldn't forget of where I had the hammock. Was divorced and failing rent, so I had to move out of my rent house. And when Coop was talking about, people run out of time, and even more important, like you run out of future, that was where I was when I called Coop back in, we've known each other for a while now, I guess, but 2016, 2017. And so my gym was at just about grossing a little over 6 figures. And the problem with what I was doing was I got into it. I loved people. I wanted to help people, but I didn't think about running a business. And so kind of like the whole origin story, the story that you see for gym owners, hero story, at least in my experience, was I get into it, help people, but I didn't think about, I've got to get into this to run a really good business so that I can actually help people. And it was doing the business stuff. It was doing the hard things for me, which were putting down some systems, writing down how to greet clients, when is on time to show up for our class and when is late. All these things that I was missing led me to have this gym close to 200 members, not making any money, looking really good from the outside and being really fit, but I mean nothing. And so I was in a terrible place. And so, if you want to really, fail, if you want to write the book on how to fail, don't track anything and don't see how you're doing. So wasn't making anything. And then Coop was like, I called him and I was out of future, man. I was out of it. And he's like, well, put some things in place in your business first before we get to thinking about get more clients and solve this, people leaving your gym because, it's not running really well. It's dramatic. It's like, just run a good business. I mean, today we're still in business. We're about to be our 11th anniversary.
Congrats.
At the gym.
Congrats, buddy.
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks. We're triple what our numbers were way back then. We're more than triple that. I do good. I've got full-time staff, part-time staff, all that good stuff that came from Two Brains. So there's my hey guys, Two Brains awesome.
What city are you in?
West Little Rock.
Little Rock, Arkansas.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, our cost of living index is dirt. So it's a lot of money here.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. This is an awesome story.
Congrats, buddy.
Thanks. Well, the one question I originally wanted to call in for was, I was at this conference not long ago, and the guy was asking all the business owners, are you in business for money or are you not? And of course, he's like, raise your hand if you're in business for money. And no one wants to raise their hand. And he's like, okay, raise your hand if you're not in business for money at all. And he's basically just trying to convince you to go get a job. He's like, you can do all that. You can still save lives and improve lives for people if you do this. So he's like, what's everyone's real answer here? And it only took me 11 years in business and that question being asked to realize, I need money. And I don't need to be afraid of money because I want to help the world in the way that matters to me. And I'm going to need money to do that. And I need to make money through my business because if I don't, then I'm going to go work somewhere else and I won't be able to help the world in the way that I can. And I know I can. So that flips the script for me with money. And as gym owners, it becomes a lot easier for us mentally. And we go, hey, we need to make money. We need to run a good business to do that. And then we get to help the world in a really impactful way. And so once you know what you want to do with your purpose, that's great, but you're still going to have to run a great business if you're going to do it long term. And Coop taught me that. And I think it just took me, a long, long time to put it into a succinct sentence. So, that was super helpful for me. And now I get to fix this lack of income and lack of money and financial security through all the generations of my family. That all gets to end with me. I've got my fire and I've got my why, but I'm able to do it because I have a really solid cash flow asset business. And I'm investing in other things now with the profits that come out of it.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question here? And this is me, this is me being triggered. How dare you say you want to make money? What about your clients sniffing? What if your clients sniffed at the fact that you want to make money? Do you have to hide that from them? Is that unattractive? Is that unattractive if they sense that I'm trying to make money?
I think that's unattractive about them with the beliefs that they have about money.
Right. Okay.
That's more about their beliefs and I don't hide it personally. So I've bought some single family homes. I'm renting them out to tenants. I'm not charging them an exorbitant amount of money for rent, but I'm investing in stuff with the profits I make from the gym, and I'm happy to show it because I can also, I also am happy that we have full-time members or full-time staff that make career money doing something they love, and they don't got to go have another job they hate.
Right.
And we're helping people. So no, not at all.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Very good call. Thank you very much. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Thanks, Jeff.
Susan, can you bring up that comment you just brought up? That was a crazy comment. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I see all your comments on the side and I will bring them up. I'm so far behind, but I see tons
I've been writing them down. I've been writing them down too, so we could kind of reference them.
Thanks,
and I got a gazillion questions here for Chris also. Chris Plentis, mentorship shouldn't be cheap if it's worth it, just like our gym prices, but there does need to be a return of investment. That's what they call ROI. I made 20 times return on investment. So meaning if this guy spent $5 on mentorship with Two Brain Business, he got $100 back. Wow, that's crazy. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Is that guy on the leaderboard?
Yeah, he'd be on a couple of different leaderboards probably.
Wow, crazy. Okay. Hey, now let's say I sign up. Do I have access to Chris too? Like other members who have had success?
Yeah, so I try to be accessible to everyone. We have huge public Facebook groups where people DM me questions all the time, and as long as it's within the scope of a Facebook message, I try to respond. But
I mean to him, to that guy. Let's say I sign up for Two Brain Business, I get a mentor, but I also want to talk to that dude, Chris Plentis, who's I have.
Sure, of course,
the other members. Okay,
of course, yeah.
That's
sorry. I thought you were talking about me here.
No, I never even mentioned your name.
So the thing about should your members think you're rich? They think you're rich anyway. They think that because you own a business, you are Scrooge McDuck, right? And what hit this for me was I had a nephew working for me. He was graduating high school, and he's like, "Hey man, I got the prom coming up. Can I borrow your tuxedo?" And I said, "Tuxedo? Like, Greg, what would make you think that I own a tuxedo?" And he's like, "Well, you own a business. Like, obviously you have a tuxedo."
Oh shit.
Yeah. And so finally I was like, all right, I'm making no money. Everybody thinks I'm making tons of money. I might as well just make tons of money, and then I can just have lots of money and give it all away. That's another topic.
And then you could rent him a tuxedo.
Yeah, exactly. So rent.
Yeah. Allison, how much money should gym owners be making these days?
So Allison, I am super.
By the way, for people who don't know, Allison has owned, I think, at least 2 CrossFit gyms that I know of.
Yeah, and Allison will also remember the original CrossFit message board, where if you asked that question back then, you would be chewed up and spit out. Like, what are you talking about? You're in this for the mission. You're in this to help people. You greedy, you
Buddhist monk.
Yeah, no, you were back then, you were expected to martyr yourself for your craft. So Allison, what we say is with 150 members, no matter where you are in the world, or at least in North America, you should be able to make $100,000. From there, it should scale up. And so profit margin should increase, but we generally tell people to start there. 150 members, 100K net. That's not the average. In fact, if you walked into any random gym, micro gym, CrossFit gym, whatever, worldwide right now, and there were 12 people there, the person who's making the least amount of money is probably the person that owns the gym, because they're attracting high value clients and whatever. But yeah, starting with 100K. The next metric we would look at is what is the happiness index for your city? So what does it actually take to be able to afford a home, a car, your groceries, and a night out on Saturday? That's what your next target should be. And there's a lot of variables that go into that, but yeah. The average, if you take a mean average across 16,000 gyms worldwide, the average is under $40,000 per year. It's not good enough. Gyms following our model are generally hitting 100K within a couple of years, take home.
What's the going rate for classes these days?
Do you mean price for the client or paying the coaches? So
that's a good question. I assume she meant for the members, but maybe she meant for the staff.
Yeah. So Allison, these are such great questions. So if you look at across, again, 16,000 gyms, the average rate that we're paying for classes is $21 per class. Obviously, that's
to the coach.
Enough.
To the coach. Oh, wow.
Not enough, but it's all the gym owner can afford, right? And in some cases, they're even underwater at that. They've got 2 people showing up. The people are paying $8 a class. The coach is making 21, and the gym owner's losing money on those 2 people. But if you look at what are people actually, what are the members paying? What's more important to look at is their average revenue per month, their ARM, instead of the class rate. Class rate should be minimum 165. Orangetheory's up around $400 a month. And I think we're offering a better service than they are. I'm not sure what F45 is. We have a few of those in Two Brain. But the reality is the members should be at least $205 a month. What's actually happening though is that the average class membership rate that people are paying worldwide is just under $100 a month. It's not even close to where it has to be.
Another question or comment from Allison, but I think Chris can answer this. So many CrossFit gym owners were coaches or members who just love CrossFit. They think it will be easy, and there isn't a ton of info about how to run a CrossFit gym for free or low price. I think if I may amend what she said a little bit, I think there's a ton of info, just people don't know where to get it, where to get it, right? A ton of free info, right? You have how many books?
half a dozen at least. I don't know. This for gym owners, there's like 4. And I think I might have written the first one where I specifically mentioned a CrossFit gym because that book sold like 32,000 copies. We publish for free every single day, like 11 times a week, free info. And there is a lot of other free info out there right now too. We've started, like when Allison and I started, there was no info, right? I think maybe like Nikki Violetti, Rob Wolf's wife, had a blog. And now we're at the other end of the spectrum where there's a lot of info, but there's no filters. It's very tough to tell like who's full of shit or not, or like who's even relevant. And so, our strength is really filtering that stuff with actual data, hey, prove it. And I can remember even when I was working for CrossFit and we were publishing stuff in CrossFit Journal about business, there was a guy in Manhattan, and Allison will probably know who I'm talking about, who had this like amazing gym. And so Sevi, probably who this was too. So CrossFit like said, Chris, go write a story. And so 2 of us went out there and we started doing a story about this gym. And then when we started digging deeper, we're like, wow, this guy wasn't telling us the whole story. And he's involved in all these lawsuits. He's not making money. He's probably getting sued 3 ways from Sunday. And so that type of filtering takes a lot of money and effort. And that's at the time what CrossFit HQ didn't want to do. They didn't want to vet the stuff that I was saying. They didn't want to track the data. So what CrossFit HQ is doing right now is trying to put together courses and even mentorship for gym owners, which is a great first step. And it's exactly what we were doing like 2012. What eventually has to happen though, is you have to have filters that are proven by data. And that's what we're trying to do more and more every year now.
I'm trying to see where my
see his man bun there.
No,
yeah.
Don't look at that.
It's a
Listen,
beach day.
Souza, you're fired. This is, if nothing, this is an amazing. I don't know what you call this, a magazine or a book, but not only is it crazy high quality, but this is his commitment to the space. This is called State of the Industry. This is put out by Two Brain and Chris Cooper and Chris Cooper's staff. And this is it. I can't tell you how amazing this is. If you're interested in opening a CrossFit gym and you don't have one of these, or if you open a CrossFit gym and you haven't got your hand on this, you're missing out. If nothing else, this is junk food for you. This is just filled with stats.
I think it's answering most of the questions that are coming up in this comments, because like what Chris was saying, it's all backed by data. So you could have a question, you could go to that portion in the book, you could look at it, and then you could get a broad spectrum of data in different categories of gyms. Super useful.
And you don't have to believe this too. It tells you how he collected the data and where he collected it from. So you can be like, well, I think Chris's numbers are padded by 10%, or I think Chris's numbers are short 10%, because and that's fair to do that. You can bring your own insight and awareness to this to see like, okay, he showed me here this thing. He has 15,000 people who participated in this one, but this one he only has 800. These stats need to develop more. It's like, this is just truly remarkable. But the reason why I'm not showing you this is also for just a blatant, hey, we have Chris Cooper on right now. This guy put this together. This doesn't have a price on it. You don't sell this. No, yeah, it's free. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. The resource.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, and you scan this and this gives you the book on your phone?
It gives you something. We give away a lot of free prizes, so it's hard for me to remember.
By book, I mean it gives you this thing on your phone. This thing's on the internet too, right?
Yeah, you can get a PDF of that, but we ship it out to about.
But you want this,
gyms. Yeah,
people, you want this. This thing is like, this is yum.
You definitely want it.
Yum. Thank you.
So, very well put together.
This isn't just some guy. This isn't. I'm not poo-pooing. This isn't just some gym owner that we have on right here. This is the guy. And he made himself the guy. This whole thing, it's kind of ironic. This whole thing that we're talking about is Chris's entrepreneurial venture. So there, it's pretty damn cool. There was a question in here. So this opens up a bunch of. I wanted to ask a question after this. That what's the best way to leverage the CrossFit name? You're paying these affiliate fees. What's the best way to leverage? Get return on that. But let's start here. Personal question for Chris. Why did Chris close his affiliate? And he didn't close it. He just stopped paying his affiliate fees for a while. De-affiliated, yeah. And then is this accurate? Are you an affiliate again?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us that journey? Maybe start back just a little bit, like when you became an affiliate and why you became one, just so there's some context.
Yeah, for sure. So we became an affiliate in 2007. I think our contract might say 2008 because they didn't actually give me the affiliate till I had my L1, but we started paying, and that's kind of a funny story. So we were Catalyst Fitness even before then. We'd been around for about 4 years, and I wanted to be CrossFit Catalyst. And the problem was that Greg Everett was Catalyst CrossFit. And so back then CrossFit HQ had a phone number, and I called it, and I'm like, yo, this is a big deal to me. And they said, well, here's Greg's cell phone. Why don't you just call him and ask him if it's okay? And like, that's how it was in the
Greg who, Glassman or Greg Everett?
Everett. Yeah.
Okay.
And so it was like, that's just kind of how it was in the first 1,000 affiliates. So I don't know what my number was, but I was in the first 1,000. It would have been officially 2008. And then I started working for CrossFit in 2012 on the games team. And then 2013 was hired to have a CrossFit blog called the Community Page. I did really well at that. So it only lasted about 3 months, but it got spiked. And then I just traveled around doing stuff for the journal.
That was through HQ?
Yeah.
What year was that?
14, maybe. I had just been hired. I had just written this story about doing a powerlifting meet in a prison and meeting all these inmates who were talking about doing CrossFit, and Greg loved it. And that got me a job basically. And then we started this thing called the Community Page. And then through that, I worked a lot with the CrossFit Foundation, including CrossFit for Hope, traveled quite a bit with Greg and his circle, including Sevi, and that's how we became friends. But through some of those travels, there were some conversations that left me with kind of like a uh-oh feeling. And so I was very close to de-affiliating starting around 2018. Things came to kind of a head for me where I was having a values crisis. And then about, was it 2020?
What's that mean, Chris? A value crisis?
First, thanks, Allison. A value crisis is like, the old saying, never meet your heroes, right? Well, Greg's taught me a lot. Greg's been an enormous influence in my life, but when I spent time with him in person, I kind of realized like, I just don't want to be like this guy, And so I was like, well, why am I paying this affiliate fee? And I asked him that, like, why am I still paying this affiliate fee? And he said, Chris, this was at his kitchen table in Portland. He's like, if I was using something that somebody else invented, I would want to pay them for it. Fair enough. Right. So, and
you had that conversation with Greg.
Yeah, it's recorded. Right. If you go to twobrainbusiness.com/Greg, you can listen to the whole thing. Like, okay. There's a lot of misconceptions about CrossFit actually that he clears up in that interview that I think every affiliate should listen to. And so, we remain close, but he was just like not a hero that I was aspiring to copy anymore. And so that kind of stuff was happening. And then they sold, right? And I was like, okay,
and that's 2020. You're talking about the sale to Berkshire.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Greg's rationale to me was like, you should be paying the creator of CrossFit, which I totally agreed with. And then when it got sold to Berkshire, I was like, well, I'm not paying Greg anymore. Greg's been paid. Greg earned that money. And I'm not sure if that number is public, so I won't say it, but like, good for him. He's been paid and he's done, but I'm not going to keep paying Berkshire for this. And then we were also going through like massive lockdowns. And I'll be candid with you guys, like the BLM stuff came up in my gym. And I said, this doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect a lot of my clients, but it really affects this handful of clients. And I went to them and talked to them about it. And they were
the Floyd 19 comment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I went to them and after conversation with them, we just took CrossFit off our signage and just left it off. And honestly, it didn't make a difference one way or the other to my business.
But you kept paying your affiliate fees. You took it off, but you kept paying your affiliate fees.
No, we canceled affiliation about a year later. My L1 expired. There was no way for me to get an L1. I tried to do the L1 online. They marked me absent for part of it. And I was just like, okay, I give up. So we just let it go.
But you weren't absent?
No. It's a long story, but anyway.
Okay.
I don't want to get into that, right?
Okay,
it's just
fine,
like,
but I like it. I like
another
it.
episode.
Good.
Yeah, somebody made a mistake, right? And
Okay,
it's not
yes.
their fault. It's nobody's
Right.
fault. I was in the divorce mindset with CrossFit anyway. Like anything that pissed me off was going to cause me to de-affiliate. So I did.
Right. You were hanging out by a thread.
Yeah. And then, and already like, around 2019 or when the sale happened, I immediately said, okay, good. I'm done. Like Greg's been paid. Everybody's good. I'm happy. And Dave Castro called me and he's like, give us 6 months. Like we're bringing in this new guy and it's going to be amazing, but like, you got to give us some time, give us till December. And I did that. And then I gave them till June, and then it was like, okay, I'm just, my L1's expired. I can't keep my affiliate. I'm done. So, then about I got in some conversations with Rosa that were also pretty frustrating, and honestly, like there were some conversations around the APN that were very frustrating. And so part of the reason that my gym de-affiliated was because my own personal relationship with people at HQ is deteriorating too. So there's a lot there. And I don't expect my decision to be copied by anybody else because I had a unique context that not a lot of people get to have. So several months ago, I got another call from Castro. He'd been rehired. I got a call from Bill Henniger and like just a whole bunch of calls. And it was like, you need to be back under the tent. Can we work this out? And finally, Austin Maliolo said, we're putting together business courses. Will you audit them for us? Like, tell us what's in there, what's missing. And I agreed to do it.
Now listen how weird that is, people. Chris makes a living helping gyms. And a competitor said, hey, we are making a competitive course to yours, a program to yours that we're going to sell. Can you help us build it? And Chris said, yes. Right? Did you say yes?
Yeah. I mean, Austin, I'll tell you, I drug my heels a lot, but I don't consider CrossFit a competitor. They're
Okay,
a collaborator, right?
All
Like,
right. I see him as a competitor to you, but go on.
Thanks.
Let me ask you this. Do you think they made the CAP program for free? Do you think that's a competitor to, let's say, Mayhem programming? I mean, it's so many gyms use Mayhem and love it. Are they competitors?
Yes, because the programming is one or the other, right? Like you're not going to buy two streams of programming.
Right.
What actually happened, and CrossFit did just release a global mentorship program too, which was ironic because it is like the day that we agreed to sponsor affiliate summits, they started promoting this global mentorship program. And a lot of people would see that as competition. And it rocked me for, 3 hours. But what actually happens is this: CrossFit affiliates need business coaching. They need data. They need expertise. The global mentorship program is brand new, right? Like they're trying to do the stuff based on the individual experience of the people in the program, I guess. And that's how we started too. So I can't fault it. But now what we found is a decade after doing this is like, we generally ascend people to us anyway. So it doesn't really matter what business mentorship program people start with, the best find their way to Two Brain. And so, I mean, I really have no problem with that.
Chris, I'm going to need you to fire up the treadmill.
Do you hear the cat? Is that why?
No, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
She literally
that was
wants
your
me
kids. Let me out of the basement. Hey, listen. I'm totally on board with what people in the comments, their gut reaction is. Fuck that. I'm not paying this fucking guy my last $5,000 to mentor me. Blah blah. I always have that reaction whenever we have Chris on. But here's the deal. Go get the book. You can find the book for free online. You can get a PDF of the book, download it on your phone. Get the book, learn from the book, and make us deal with yourself and be like, if I can read this book and I can make the money to pay for my mentorship from what I learned from the book, then I'll pay for them. I mean, set yourself up for success. Challenge yourself. I'm having this guy on over and over again because people won't shut up about him. I'm not having him on for the fucking numbers. That's for sure. There's no sex, drugs, and rock and roll in this fucking podcast.
And if I could add the two books that I read, because a couple people ask you, was the Two Brain Business 2.0 and Help First.
Wait, what are those are the ones you read? Tell me them again.
Yeah. Two Brain Business 2.0 and Help First. Right. Was those the titles, Chris? So I didn't have them pulled in front of me.
Those came out together in like 2017. Yeah.
Yeah, so those were the 2 books that I got my hands on. Help First was all about, selling and how you position yourself. It's a great read for your staff. And then 2.0 is basically kind of the principles that I assume underlie kind of the mentorship and the programs you bring people through. So if you guys are looking for those first initial resources, like Sevan is saying, I'm going to read these, I'm going to implement these, maybe you'll earn a little money from that implementation and then reach out to Chris. That's the best way to do it. And that was a similar strategy to what I did. Read the books, applied the material.
So
Thanks.
Chris drank the Kool-Aid, wanted to help people, had a wife. He didn't say this part, but I know this part. Had a wife who would subsidize his desire to be a coach.
Yeah,
which I think is a pretty common story. Laura Connor, the book really helped me a lot.
Thank you.
Opened a CrossFit gym. Then it did some really smart things, by the way. One of the stories, I'm sure there's a ton of stories like this, but one of the things that Chris did is similar to some of the guests we've had who own gyms had. He got contracts with the city to help people. Specifically, he was helping autistic kids, which was a boon to his business. There was a lot of revenue there, but basically, and then at some point between 2018 and 2020, parted ways with CrossFit. Didn't survive what happened at the highest level there in terms of what he wanted to see the direction CrossFit going. And then he obviously, if Bill Henniger and Dave Castro are calling him to come back under the tent, that was influential to him. And what was their justification or argument? Did they, is it just please do it and you do it because it's Bill and Dave, or do they tell you, I feel like it was an emotional appeal. Like, hey, Chris, we can make it. Come back.
Yeah.
Or was there some like, hey, Chris, if you do this,
give me one more chance, baby.
all of your gyms, all of your gyms are going to make an extra $3,000 a year. Was there anything practical of why, or was it just emotional appeal?
No, I mean, so Carol was also in that conversation, and she's like, what is the actual value of affiliation? And I said, it's like finding an oil well or an oil leak on your property. Like it could be amazing, but if you don't know what you're doing, like it's just going to be a mess and it could be detrimental. And then, from there, Dave's thing was like, I'm back. We've got a mission again. And this, what you just said, Sevi, was kind of true. Like, I just could not see what the mission was. The mission seemed to be increased shareholder value for Berkshire. And that was the impression that I got of the APN. Like, this isn't adding value to affiliates. It's creating wealth for Berkshire. Like, I think that's changed now. I think that's evolved. But at the time, that's certainly the way that things seem to be going. And, so the conversation since then, Dave is like, Allison, I believe it's Andriozzi, was CEO for a few months there. She was really the CFO. I talked to her, I talked to Dave, and I talked to Bill. And, Dave's message was like, the mission is back. We get it. And then I saw Eric, not Eric. Who's the new CEO again?
Mr. Fall, Don.
Yeah, Don. I saw him on this show. And right at the end, you asked a question, like, what should HQ be doing? And he said, getting more people to do CrossFit. And I said, that's it. Like, that's HQ's job. It's not to tell me how to run an affiliate. It's just get people doing CrossFit. And that's the best thing you can do to help me.
Hey, that really aligns with Greg's message too, by the way. That's
exactly.
spot on with Greg, what Greg said for years. Yep.
Well, it's funny because the closer HQ gets back to the original message, the better they seem to be doing. But, that's beside the point. So, then from Bill, who I really respect, it was like, look, the best thing that can happen here is that the CrossFit message gets out there and saves lives. And the way that happens is that affiliates are successful and they last for 30 years instead of like lasting for 3 years, helping 100 people and going away. And like the way that these people last 30 years is with you guys. And like, you guys have to be under the tent. And at the same time, Austin was asking like, would I audit their course for new gyms? And so we talked about reaffiliating. The CrossFit Catalyst name was gone, but I actually owned a second affiliate for a while called CrossFit Brain. And when CrossFit for Hope was really big, one of Greg's 4 initiatives was CrossFit for Brains. And so we talked about building that program.
That's right.
Yep. And I registered CrossFitBrain.com, built that site out.
I always forget about this story. This is not a good story.
It's okay. When CrossFit for Hope folded, basically there was no need for CrossFit Brain anymore. And so we just kind of folded those tents. It wasn't handled well, but that's beside the point. But I was the affiliate on record for CrossFit Brain. And technically that's what we are again now, is CrossFit Brain.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that brings us to this. How should CrossFit gyms be leveraging the CrossFit name?
I think it's through media. I mean, if you look at like, how do CrossFit gyms actually grow? The best thing that they can do is just leverage the old media content. I think the best thing that HQ ever did for CrossFit affiliates was have such an amazing and impressive media company. And it's not just because I'm on your show that I'm saying that, and like, not just because you were in charge of that. The first time I ever met Greg in person, maybe 2013, the first thing he says, he stands up in front of the team and he says, CrossFit's a media company, not a fitness company. I never heard him say that again, but that's the reality, right? Like,
I heard him say it. He's told me that 100 times. He said that he would say that to the whole entire company once a week. Yeah. Everyone. Yeah.
So there you go. And so like, having that base of media, I didn't even understand as an affiliate until Tyson Oldroyd told me like, hey, we're doing all this so that affiliates can share this media and drive people to their gym. And that was like 2018 before I even had heard that, right? I was a decade into being an affiliate already. And now it's like, well, duh. And affiliates are trying way too hard to win Instagram and TikTok right now, when the reality is that they should just be sharing the content that HQ made even 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And that's what will get people back doing CrossFit again. The games gets attention, but the media content wins hearts and minds.
Why? I we had Rebecca Fuselier on yesterday, and there's all of and she's a young lady. She's 22 or 23 years old. And there's all these athletes out there who will say things that they want to. There's just not athletes. There's people out there who will say what they want to do. I want women's rights. I want this. I want that. And her video that she made with her sponsor. This sponsor made a lot of videos like that about people being like, I'm a strong woman. I'm this, making all these declarations. Her video didn't do any of that. It showed it.
Yeah. So powerful.
It showed it. It showed it. It showed it. It showed it. It screamed it so loud without ever making the declaration. And why how come CrossFit can't? I mean, obviously when they bought the company in 2018, there was no more media department left, but why can't they figure it out? Why invest any money in DEI? If you really want to, why not just get rid of all those people and make a video every week that shows a black person in a CrossFit gym, if that's what you wanted to do?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I think it is.
It seems disingenuous and insincere what all these companies are doing.
Yeah. So you're right. Instead of taking a public stance on, insert any issue,
they made a video celebrating that they did content celebrating that 14 of their 17 people in their own games department were women. Why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah, I think you just have to show it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just show. No one. It cheapens it. It cheapens it. What my takeaway from that is like, oh wow, like it's charity work. Like I understand doing that. Like you have someone with Down syndrome cleaning your floors at night, and you want to show that. I get it. But women, we've already done that with CrossFit. It just seems like a huge missed opportunity. Do you think CrossFit ever gets back to media, or no? That's done.
No, I think they slowly are. I think they're doing it now. The challenge is, and this is tough because I own a media company too, is you don't have that inspirational figurehead, right? It seems like there's several different figureheads at CrossFit right now.
You mean just like sound bites pouring off of Greg Glassman?
Yeah, there's no Greg, right?
Right.
And so Greg was this unique combination of like passionate founder with charisma, who's also incredibly smart and could speak in sound bites. Like that's
right.
So rare. Like it's
Tupac
so rare.
And Hemingway wrapped in one, a little bit with a bunch of Einstein in there.
Yeah. I mean, he's got quotables, and it's really, what's crazy interesting is that like his quotables, constantly very functional, move, performed high intensity. Like those don't just roll off the tongue, but I hear them repeated every single day. And unfortunately, there's nothing new coming out at that level. There is new media coming out. There are talented people that have been brought back into the media department, I think. And the challenge that they're having right now is that they're using very CrossFit specific language to explain CrossFit to people who've never heard of it before, right? So, but they'll get there. They're going to evolve. They had to start from scratch. They're just going to keep getting better and better. And I am optimistic about the media that they're going to produce.
This is kind of going to go against probably what you think, but here's what I think the problem is.
Fine.
I think that the problem is that they're too concerned with metrics and micromanaging. So what Greg did is basically he hired a shitload of passionate people, and they were allowed to basically just make whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
Within the context of we had all drank the Kool-Aid, right?
Yeah.
And so there was we always had 60 pieces of content in the bank. And then Leif Edmondson would sit there and be like, okay, we haven't had old people doing anything in a while. We haven't had a first muscle up in a while, but we had this library, and you didn't have to tell Heber and Marsden or Jay Vera or Michael Dalton what to make, or Mike Koslop. Like, people were just out, or myself.
Yeah.
You would send me to your house to do a squat video, and I'd come back with like 5 kids videos because your kids do CrossFit and they didn't even ask me to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit was just pouring in, you know what I mean? And it was just pouring. And there's I think every tech person that they hire into that company from the Valley, they're fucking themselves.
It's further and further away from.
Yeah, you're getting further and further away from a really true. They just need young people who would just have drank the Kool-Aid, just pouring content into the machine. But I think they're too worried about metrics. And I know that's weird to share you after I celebrated your metric book, but I think that's.
Hey, and I also think that they don't have a singular mission. Like with Greg, there was a vision, and you kind of knew where the North Star is. Now it just seems fragmented, and it seems like they have an identity crisis. Are they a sport? Are they going to just lean towards that way? Or are they going to go back to the methodology?
Hold that thought, Chris. Sorry, hold that thought, Chris. And I'll remind you. Caller, hi.
Hey, Sevan. I just wanted to call in. My name's Rory. I'm opening a new affiliate in San Francisco.
How's the National Guard? How's the National Guard treating you? Have you seen the National Guard there?
No, not in my neighborhood.
Cooper, did you know they called the National Guard into San Francisco?
No, I didn't.
Last week, yeah. They just got a little homeless problem. It's nothing the National Guard can't fix. Okay, sorry, I derailed the conversation. Go ahead, caller. And when I mean homeless, I mean drug problem. Imagine your city, the biggest tourist attraction in the world, San Francisco, having a drug problem so big they had to call in the National Guard. Unfucking believable. But okay, go ahead, caller.
Well, maybe we can solve it with more CrossFit affiliates.
Please, yes, thank you.
There you go.
I just wanted to call in to kind of thank this podcast and Chris for the content that you've produced. I spoke to Matt Souza like last August, basically told him I was trying to start this journey, and he took time out of his day to like sit on a call with me for like an hour and just talk me through what he went through when he was opening an affiliate. And I think he basically is paying it forward from this podcast being created from conversation between Chris and Sevan. So I just want to let you guys know that the content you're producing, these podcasts, they are impacting people, and I'm in the process of now trying to open an affiliate and further impact more people. So
I got a question for you. Why San Francisco? For so many reasons. Why San Francisco now? Why not wait? I mean, obviously it's going. I mean, basically, San Francisco is going to have to reinvent itself, right? I mean, it is in serious trouble. Why not? Why not in 2 years, San Francisco? Why not one of the suburbs now?
Well, I live in the Richmond district, which is out in the kind of, I guess, almost suburb area of San Francisco. So it's not a complete zombie land in my neighborhood as I walk around day to day. But I guess why wait? Like if businesses like gyms that are trying to impact people in the area, if we don't start these and try to help turn people's lives around, then if we just wait, it's just going to get worse.
You're always welcome on this show, by the way. How long before you
man.
open your gym? I'd love to have you on and just talk to you about opening a gym. And you nailed it. Those are your words, but those are my words too. Zombie land. It really is a zombie land out there. How long before your gym opens?
So we're in the process of kind of doing a little bit of a build out. We're hoping by the first week of May that we can start doing introductory sessions and aim for like a grand opening in either Memorial Weekend or the first weekend of June. But
awesome. I'd love to have you on there and let me know how I can help promote that in any way. I'll do anything. I'm stoked for you, dude.
Yeah, I want to come out there and see it from our
sure,
conversation last. To seeing it materialize is awesome. I want to come out there and check it out. So when you get up and you get rolling, let me know.
Yeah, because like Matt took his time to talk to me, and then we met again at the affiliate gathering, and he was super, super nice. And I want to say that affiliate gathering was really like helped kind of boost my comfort level in being affiliated with CrossFit. Also the likes of Chris coming back into the CrossFit fold, Jason Khalifa coming back into the CrossFit fold. It's kind of cemented my decision that it is still valuable to be an affiliate of CrossFit, because I use the methodology. I'm a coach under the methodology. My wife is also a coach under the methodology. So we would feel that it would be wrong to be doing the methodology and be professionals underneath that certification and not hold the affiliate title. But it definitely helped the fact that Chris was willing to come back on board, Khalifa's coming back on board, and then the affiliate gathering seems like HQ are getting things more in line. So
thank you. Absolutely. Please stay in touch.
Will do. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, DM us if you don't have a copy of Start a Gym and we'll ship you one.
Nice.
Yeah, I got the Start a Gym book, and I did get the Start a Gym course as well.
Cool.
Okay, well, just DM him and he'll send you a video of his cat on the wheel then.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
All right.
Thank you. And good luck.
Cheers. Thanks. Thank you.
Dude, fuck climbing Everest. This guy's opening a gym in San Francisco.
Yeah, that was like, it was
Dude,
funny because that was the first thing I said. I was like, where in the city? And then when he explained the area, I was like, okay, because it was kind of like the Richmond district, like Daly City, over kind of by the college. Like when you and I discussed San Francisco, we think Market Street, Tenderloin, the ghost town of the
even Pacific Heights is like
Nob Hill's even bad now.
Yeah, people are getting homes are getting looted and robbed there. Chris, this is like our Vancouver, dude.
North Point is bad now too. Yeah,
this is like one of the most expensive cities in the world. Like I'm talking $1 million for 250 square foot
to park.
Yeah, crazy. The city makes like 8% of its revenue from parking tickets. I mean, it's unhospitable, dude.
Crazy.
And he's opening but there's a ton of rich people there.
Mm-hmm. There's still money in the city, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I love that he feels compelled to do it. Like I have to do it. I have to turn the tide, and he is right on. That's what the city needs. I think is more entrepreneurship, especially in gyms.
Yeah, it ties back to what you were saying about entrepreneurs. They're the only ones who are going to save the place, right?
I think so.
One of my beloved listeners, regular listeners, thank you, 12 Daily Doses. Now that you're here, I feel much more safe. Chris, do you think that different categories of membership for, say, students, seniors, family, or people that want to try CrossFit but can't afford it is a good idea? Or will that just ...
It's one of those things where it seems like a noble idea, but in practical application, it just doesn't work. And the problem is that when you start looking for reasons to discount your rate, and so let's start here. Every CrossFit gym is underpriced already. They cannot afford to be discounting their rate more than they are. Okay. If you were charging $400 a month to attend group classes and you wanted to give 20% off for seniors and students, fantastic. But there's nobody in the position where they should be giving these kind of discounts. The second point is fairness. So if I am taking a CrossFit class and I'm getting coaching from you, and the person next to me is getting the exact same coaching but paying 25% less, then we've got a values conflict here. the other, and there's more to this story too. Like, obviously you're not opening your gym to make money. You're opening your gym to have a heart. But what I've learned over the last 20 years of owning a gym is like, you're actually better off making money from your clients and then giving it away to people who actually need it. And so the slogan of the Business is Good website is make lots of money, give it away. You don't do that by like nickeling and diming and negotiating with every single client and looking at every client and saying like, how can I find a way to give that guy $20 off? You're better off to just provide an amazing service, charge a rate that keeps you around, where 150 clients keeps your gym in business and keeps you paid and fed. And then if you have somebody who really, really needs it, then you, the owner, buy that person's membership for them. And you can't do that if you're giving every single person like $20 off. If you want to sell something different to somebody because they make less money, okay, but don't make it the same thing that you're selling everybody else, because eventually what happens is like you fall to the lowest rate that you're charging. When we opened up, we had discounts for fire, police, military. And then a nurse came in and said, well, what about me? I work in the Canadian healthcare system. Like, that's practically the military. Can I have a discount? Well, hell yeah. And then the next person after her was a teacher who said like, hey, I got 35 kids in my classroom. Can I have a discount? Hell yeah, you deserve a discount. And pretty soon it's like, what is your actual price here? So I would just stay out of that mess.
Here's the two people that I think you should give a discount to. I'd like Chris and Mr. Souza's feedback. One, anyone who has concealed carry permit, that they come for free. The second thing is
just one of those. Yeah.
The second thing is James Newberry. This fucking guy went to a fucking gym and said, I will come and clean your bathrooms every day for a free membership. Why are you giving someone a discount when someone else is willing to come there and work for it and add value to the space? Let me and it's not because you're trying to get something from them. They're proving that they're going to at least break even with you, meaning they're not going to take from you. Every person you bring into your car, your car door will only open and close so many times. I have a 2016 Toyota Sienna, and that door that covers where your gas cap is, the metal on it has now eroded, and the gas cap door is now falling off. It only had so many open and closes. Your gym only has so many times that people can walk in before the front entryway wears. That bumper plate can only be dropped so many times. It costs everyone money without that person contributing, and they're not proving that they want to be there. If they're not saying that they're going to clean your bathroom, fuck them. That's my feeling.
Greg used to have this story about visiting Bill and Stacy Russell at CrossFit Cleveland, and he met this woman who was cleaning in exchange for her membership, and they were doing it right. It was like, okay, your membership is $130 at the time. This was over a decade ago. And so we will pay you $130 a month to clean this many times. And so Greg met this woman and said, like, why are you doing this? And she's like, well, I need to be strong. I need CrossFit. I have a son with a severe disability at home. I can't afford the membership. And so I have to do this. And so, Greg was like, well, what's the deal with your son? And it turns out that the son was quadriplegic. She couldn't afford a proper bed or a bathtub or a wheelchair for this kid. And so she had to be the one to like lift this kid up in the morning. And of course, she's getting older, the kid's getting older, he's getting bigger, she's getting smaller. And so of course, Greg, he bought the kid a wheelchair and a bed and a bathtub and everything.
I remember that. That shit was expensive.
It was $10,000. And, he came back and he was talking to the CrossFit for Hope team. And he said like, that was an epiphany for him, that we should just find places where $10,000 will make an immediate and profound difference, and just give them the money instead of dropping little drops into like, the St. Jude bucket or the other ones that we were doing at the time, Coins for Kenya. And that was profound to me. And it was like, okay, look, if I'm actually profitable in my gym, I can give money to the people who actually need it instead of offering that fireman $20 off because, that's not why he became a fireman.
100%. And so I think that pretty much sums up the thing.
Okay.
For that thing, right? For the most part, do not give away free memberships. It doesn't help anyone. I used to tell people too the same thing. If I would give someone a free L1, I would say, please don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Because I don't want the other 39 people there who paid $1,000 because it devalues their experience.
It devalues it. That's what.
Yeah. And I'm not, and it's not fair. It's not true. It is worth $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when I was saying we're done there, I didn't mean to cut you off, Chris. If you had more,
No, it's okay.
I was okay. Time and hands-on coaching is what truly makes coaches better in my experience. Yeah, every podcast I do, I get a little better. There's nothing like more times under the mic. And longer-term mentorship from the owner or head coach makes sense. 2 days at a seminar is nada for real coaching improvement. It
adds tool to the toolbox. That's for sure. Tools to the toolbox.
Boy, I don't know. I don't know if I can agree with that. Do you have thoughts on that? I will say this, Allison. How about this? At bare minimum, going to one of those things could get you a year of motivation. Like it could charge your batteries and get you a year of motivation at bare minimum, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think continued education's crazy important for coaching, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that, like, while Allison might be providing coach mentorship in her gym, most gyms aren't able to do that. The owner just doesn't have the bandwidth. And so the best thing that they can do is send their coaches somewhere a way that will learn something, but also more importantly, be inspired for the next year.
I think if you go to a 2-day coaching class and you pick up 5 cues that you would never learned before, like it's gold. Like it's crazy when you give it someone, when you learn a new cue. I think that was the best thing about me. Just keep going to as many L1s as I got to go to, because I would just learn gazillions of cues.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like it too for the warm-ups, because there's certain things as a coach you just kind of get in this like monotony of, and you kind of roll downhill, so to speak. So not even necessarily the cues, but just providing some more energy and more fun warm-ups and just a different experience in that manner too. Those courses really help with that.
Let's see here. So you are a CrossFit Brain is an affiliate. Now it is interesting. I do think that's huge. What that caller said, that they got you and Jason back. I just made this number up one time when I was talking to Souza, but I bet you if there were 500 new gyms coming in and there were 500 gyms sitting on the fence, they all fell over into the affiliate side. In one day, it probably made a difference to 1,000 gyms. Because I do think that, I mean, every year, right? Every year when they send the check, everyone has to think about that, right?
That's right. Yeah. It's a new purchase every time.
It's not like something on your credit card where it automatically bills.
I'm not sure how it's set up now, to be honest. I can't remember. Maybe it does automatically bill you.
I think they just switched it now. So the affiliate fee, like you have to stop it. Otherwise it'll pull from the same thing. I think so. I thought I saw a notice with that.
I didn't see Jake's original comment, but this is an interesting thing. The cultures around the world are so different. Jake just wants CrossFit to be less American because he hates America. I didn't see the original comment, but I think it's crazy important that CrossFit stays as an American brand. Just like I think it's important that Ferrari stays an Italian brand. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Do you have any thoughts on that, Chris? And not only is there nothing wrong with it, I think it adds a tremendous amount of value.
Yeah, I have no context. I know that CrossFit affiliation seems to be growing fastest in Western Europe as a percentage. And that's one reason I was asked to go to Stockholm today to speak to gym owners there, many of which will be CrossFit affiliates. But I don't think that you have to make CrossFit a European brand to appeal to those people or to save their clients' lives.
Right. You should join Two Brain. Wow. Graciano Rubio. Well, that's just
thank you.
Simple.
Thanks, Graciano.
Thank you, Graciano. You pay me to say that. I love that. Thank you.
I would also like to thank the people who say I will never get a mentor, because I was certainly at that point when I was a less mature entrepreneur. The first few years, I wanted to figure it out myself, and I figured I was smarter than anybody who was going to tell me different. And I think every entrepreneur has to go through that path, no matter how long it takes. I was lucky to be broke and starving and fighting over the grocery bill early, and lucked into a mentor. And oh shit, I actually don't know everything, but the people who right now are saying never, I'm never going to do that. Like, thank you for saying that, because you just make the choice obvious for everybody.
I'm in that phase with the podcast. There's avenues to make money that I always have an excuse not to do it.
Sure.
I always have an excuse not to do it. It's interesting. I'm starting to be like, wow, I sound like a fucking broken record. I'm not being solution oriented. I'm trying to think who was on here who said it so well. Like, stop. It's not that funny. Stop, Souza. And I don't want to hear about it.
No
after either. Yeah, there's a hey, I need to cross the stream to get to the other side. Well, the water's too high. We can't cross today, and you go back to your house. It's like, no. Like, are there other crossing points? Are there other? How do you know it's too high? What's your reason for that? Yeah. CrossFit Veneration dropping in quickly, simply to say that Two Brain Business helped me. You don't have to hang out, buddy. Don't drop in quickly. Just hang. Dropping in quickly, simply to say Two Brain Business helped me 5 times my gym revenue and live my perfect day. Well, that's important. That means it's not only increased his money, but he has time for his kids.
Yeah, cutest kids in the business. Storm Stroud. So this is how we work. A client comes in, they do really, really well in Two Brain. We find out what they're doing and we publish their story on the podcast. And then some of those clients get hired to mentor other clients. And so what that means is, like, the people who are doing the mentoring for Two Brain now are more successful and better mentors than I ever was. There's just like an improvement every generation of them. And Storm is a living example of that.
When I met Coop, I lived in the office. Now I get to hop off here to go help others proud. Man, it's so cool. That and that is kind of the glue with all these people in this community. They want to help.
That's it. Yeah.
By the way, Graciano has been on this podcast. He is not just a strong man. As a matter of fact, I would say that's second to that giant brain of his. That is quite the computer processor. He is. I definitely understand why he finds Two Brain so valuable.
Oh, cool.
Let's talk about something extremely superficial.
Okay.
Let's talk about the open.
Okay.
How can gyms use the open if you're a CrossFit gym, should you be using it? Even if you're not a CrossFit gym, should you be using the open? Is it a missed opportunity for gyms who aren't using the open?
I think everybody should do it. We ran it. I think the first year it was online. I looked at it and said, boy, this seems like a lot of work for, no like return to my gym. And so we just applied the intramural concept that I learned in high school. And we divided everybody into 4 teams and said, I'm going to give you points for showing up. And, the winner gets a t-shirt or something. And other people asked what we were doing, and we started writing articles about it. And then, first CrossFit HQ hated it. And then Rory at HQ loved it. And then CrossFit HQ loved it. And then, it kind of became the standard operating procedure. But like the intramural open is really the method to making sure that the open stays super fun, that you get almost all of your clients to do it, that your coaches don't get burned out, and that you make a little bit of money on it. I think HQ should make money on it. It's an amazing event. It's a huge investment for them to do it. But I think that the affiliate owner should be making money on it too.
And how's that look? Like, hey, join the open and then also pay us $20 extra for the gym, and we'll make sure that at every Friday night at this time you can come and do the workout and put in your numbers, and we'll help you put in your numbers.
So there's a few options. So the first is like, we're going to make this a really big team experience, right? So it's going to be $50. It's going to include a t-shirt. Your name's going to go up on the banner, whatever. We're going to open up these extra times to judge you. So really, it's like they're almost paying for more access. Another way to do it is like, okay, look, you want to do the open. You've never competed in anything in your life. We're going to run like a 6 or 8 week prep course that's different from our normal programming, where we're going to help you get your first double under, help you get toes to bar finally, so that when you come up to this competition, you are going to have this collaborative atmosphere full of support and everything in your favor to actually, hit a personal best or achieve a personal goal of yours.
Is it a missed opportunity if gyms don't take advantage of the open, generally speaking?
I think so. I mean, from my perspective, the gyms that tell us that they that they've done it in the past, and just like ran it and everybody paid HQ the $20, they generally say like, wow, this was exhausting, or, I did a lot of this extra work and the gym didn't really benefit from it. But the gyms that don't do it at all miss a massive opportunity to improve retention and client goal setting. Like, if for no other reason, you do the open because it gets your clients excited about doing CrossFit again.
Right.
That week after the open, we've all seen it, right? People are so excited. Your retention's at like 100%. People are like, next year muscle ups, or how do I do an overhead squat better?
And they're glad it's over too. In the same way, they feel like they've accomplished something. Yeah, that's how I always felt after the open. They accomplished something.
It really builds bonds. And, if you're thinking it through and thinking a step ahead, like you can actually recruit new clients from it too, because, the best, if Sevan's doing the open at Catalyst, and like, I want the next best client in the world who would be 3 times as good a client as Sevan. Like I want Haley, right? Well, how am I going to get Haley in my gym? Hey, Haley, Sevan's doing this workout this week. He's really bad at double unders. He could really use your support. Can you show up?
Oh,
right.
Yeah, that's cool shit.
Craig Howard
cut to the bone on that. Sorry, but
Craig Howard does that too. Really, like if you guys want, I think he'd even talked about his specific ones and setups and the logistics of it in the podcast that he has about the intramural open. And I mean, they have, if you go check out their Instagram, they have a couple hundred people that are joining it. So he does a really good job with it too.
So it could be an insane recruiting tool.
Oh,
it could be,
yeah.
Like Craig gets it.
Yeah.
Right. And I think a lot of people, maybe they're too busy to think of that, but Craig really gets it.
And it's sincere. It's sincere as opposed to an insincere recruiting tool. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Well, insincere would be like, hey, I'm going to give you a discount. I don't know. But
I'll give you an insincere one.
Okay.
This is really popular with a lot of gyms like 2018. And so an insincere recruiting approach is you pay us $600. And if you don't lose 10 pounds in the next 30 days, we'll give you the $600 back. Asterisk. You must also complete all of these other things. And so at the end of the 30 days, all these people are asking for a refund. And it's like, well, no, I got you on this technicality. I'm not giving you your money back. Oh, no, you didn't double knot your sneakers when you showed up on Tuesday. Sorry, no refund. That's a bait and switch. And it was really popular in CrossFit gyms about 4 years ago.
God, that sounds nauseating.
Yep.
As opposed to, hey, getting the dude's wife to come in who doesn't do CrossFit and cheer him on through the open. It's going to mean something to everybody.
Exactly.
Jake, which affiliates does Castro travel to? I'm not sure what the context of that is, but dude, that guy, every city he goes to, he goes into a gym. And at one point, when I was living in San Diego, Dave went to a new gym every single day in San Diego for 100 days straight. And he worked out there. Yeah, it was nuts. it was that guy. If that guy travels anywhere, he goes to a CrossFit gym. It's pretty. I don't think there's anyone.
Hey, I was gonna say, has he traveled to the most of them and done the most drops, like him or maybe Bosman doing the L1s or something? Right?
Oh, and now there's people now who have doubled what Bosman has. I think, and like there's a guy Eric O'Connor who's like done so many L1s. It's nuts.
Wow.
How about this? Is your advice for CrossFit gyms different than non-CrossFit gyms in terms of the mentoring program?
I mean, our advice for every single gym is different, but we follow a general path. And like one misconception is that like Two Brain is not for CrossFit gyms, but the reality is that all the systems that we built were built in CrossFit gyms, right? Like I was a CrossFit affiliate for 13 years or whatever before I de-affiliated, and now I'm back again. And there are something like 30 mentors on the Two Brain team who are affiliates. So if you're looking like strategy, should you have an onboarding process? Yes, that is true for CrossFit gyms, and it's true for strength and conditioning collegiate gyms. Should you have one-on-one available for people who want it? Yes. Whether you're a CrossFit gym, I mean, that's how Greg started. He didn't just open up the doors and start running group classes. That's also true for other facilities. Should you have nutrition coaching? Maybe. So there is a lot of alignment there. Where things get where things differ is when a target audience is dramatically different. So for example, if we have somebody in our program who's running like a ninja gym, then 90% of their clients are going to be kids. And that's what we're going to structure differently. But for any micro gym, I mean, the model really came from the CrossFit gyms that we were running, and now we're applying them to other gyms too. And what's cool is like a lot of these franchises who are very rigid in their delivery are now coming to us and saying like, how do we fix this in our franchise? You know, and it's because we were allowed to be flexible with the CrossFit model that we discovered these things, track data, and show proof.
Jake Chapman, we have 5 boxes on the Isle of Man. He should come here.
Yes, he should.
Man, the Isle of Man is calling me. Do you know about that motorcycle race that they do there, Chris?
Yeah, I've seen some footage or something, or maybe you shared something.
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And they have a I noticed through YouTube there, if the most viewers in different regions have different value if they watch your video, and I think the viewers from Isle of Man are the most valuable viewers anywhere on the planet. Isn't that a trip? Just a little side note there.
There's a big motorcycle race going on in Corona right now, isn't there? There's a former CrossFit affiliate named Scott Thornton racing in it. And this guy was in the NHL for many years and voted most fit. And then he retired from hockey, opened up CrossFit Industry, and then eventually sold that. And now he's like racing motorcycles, and it sounds like similar stage races.
Jake Chapman, I don't think this is good thinking here. If CrossFit was truly global, they would have global business wanting to sponsor them. I don't think it works like that, buddy. Let me give you an example. If you look up most the largest gym chains in the world, you probably won't see CrossFit on there, even though they have 10 times the amount of gyms globally on way more continents than any other gym out there. You have to there's more CrossFit gyms there's CrossFit gyms in more countries than there are McDonald's and Starbucks or Subway or Apple or any of those things by far. And you should be careful. I like you. This isn't to dig at all, but you should be careful which metrics you use in order to qualify, not quantify, qualify something. The happiest people I know is the poorest person I've ever met. And,
I think Jake,
and yet being rich is really a shitload of fun. So you just got to be careful. So sorry, go ahead, Chris.
No, I think Jake, like that will probably happen. Like you'll probably see, for example, more European partners in the APN or paying sponsorships now. It's just in the past, for a sponsor to get involved with CrossFit, they basically had to come to CrossFit. Like CrossFit wasn't soliciting these sponsors. Maybe even Reebok, they came to CrossFit. I know, speaking from our personal experience, like we don't go out and look for billing and booking software to partner with in Europe. They generally come to us. And as we're, expanding dramatically in Europe, we're getting more and more of those opportunities. And I think that's probably what's going to happen with CrossFit too.
I'm thinking about opening a gym, and I haven't opened a gym yet. Is that too early to come to Two Brain for a mentorship?
Yeah, we generally say like you should be about 8 weeks out. If you're not like all in committed, like, okay, I'm doing this, then yeah, it's too early. I'll send you a copy of Start a Gym so that you know what factors you should be weighing, but yeah, absolutely.
So if I have a space and I have my affiliate name and the door's going to open in 6 weeks, it's not, I could sign up and you think and Two Brain would save me a lot of headache.
Yeah. I mean, you could do it before you have a lease. I mean, we can help you with the lease negotiation a ton. And then we can also help you make sure that you've got like clients on day one. I think our record now is 104 clients on day one paying you, like you're opening profitable.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That wasn't me. I had 2 clients. Yeah. Their names were Jim and Brandon. I was undercharging them, and I ran the gym for the whole day with just them in, and I started to stress that day. But yeah.
Sevan, you said there was an affiliate on all 7 continents the other day. Where is the one on Antarctica? It's funny. I was just researching the one on Antarctica. I want to say maybe it closed in 2015 or something. And I was just researching it. I have it to do a piece on it on one of my live call-in shows. I don't know if it's still there or not. But I remember at one point that there was one there, and you can Google Antarctica CrossFit and you can see. And I started, maybe it was one of those members. I can't remember. There was something about one of the members there that really caught my eye. I think they own a CrossFit gym somewhere else now. But you can Google it. Jeff, I'll circle back. I got a bunch of notes on it for a live call-in show. It's just there's so many crazy things I want to talk about. I think it got buried. But yeah, all 7 continents, crazy, right? And of course, I mean, it makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah, Deep Freeze CrossFit is what it was called. Yep, at a station in Antarctica. Yep, their Facebook is still up, so if you guys Google that, you'll see it right away.
Okay, so if you're in Antarctica, go ahead and get your.
Yeah, it's like 2014 or so was the last thing on them.
Do they accept drop-ins?
Hey, is Winnipeg? I think Winnipeg's colder than Antarctica.
I don't know if it's colder, but it's definitely worse.
Worse. Oh, that's fair. I'll go with
just
that.
In general. Yeah, no, I don't know. Ask Mike Workington. He lived there for years and years, and now he lives in Northern Ontario.
Oh, he doesn't live there anymore?
No, they moved to in between Winnipeg and me. There's some really, really remote little towns. He lives in a cabin now.
Is there internet there?
Yep.
Good internet?
Yeah, we all have amazing internet thanks to Elon Musk. So.
Oh, is everyone using Starlink there?
Starlink.
I am, and he is. So.
This is Starlink. I'm on with you right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Holy shit! Wow, I was thinking about going to Armenia for a few months. And I was like, I can't because I can't trust the internet out there. But then I guess I could just get Starlink.
Yeah, Starlink.
I mean, yeah. And when I say Armenia, I mean out in the country in Armenia. Wow. I didn't think Starlink was fast enough to run a YouTube show. That's crazy. Yeah. Deep Freeze CrossFit was opened by Daniel Jose. Danielle Jose. 2 first names, a United States Air Force veteran of 10 years who is now a flight line mechanic working for a private contractor at McMurdo Station.
Very cool.
There you go.
Another very practical question. Should coaches be allowed to date members?
So Heidi, early on, I thought it would be a really smart idea to make a rule that you cannot date a member. And then one of my coaches, Mike, who's been with me since 2005, was like, I work here at 6 a.m. and I work here at 9 p.m. When else am I going to meet anybody? And I said, okay, Mike, but if you start dating a member, like either you fire her as a member or you marry her. And so he married her.
Hey, well, does that answer the question though? Should coaches be allowed to date members?
Sorry, Heidi, that's a pretty subjective question. In my perspective, I don't think you should coach your girlfriend. So if it's like, she's in your class, she should go to a different class. If she's your personal training client, she should work with a different trainer. Maybe, I just think there's inevitably going to be some friction or conflict there.
It's a trip too, because if you make a hard rule that you can't, all you're going to do is get people who lie to you.
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, you can't stop people from intimacy. It's like put a steel wall between a man and a woman. They're going to find a way to get through it or around it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's one of those things where, I don't make rules that I can't enforce anymore. And like, you can't enforce that. Unfortunately, most of the time it's going to end badly and the member is going to leave, but that's part of it.
I married my CrossFit coach.
Good for you.
Yeah, there you go.
I think too, the big difference is like when people see dating and like the harms that come from it, you're talking about like, the young 20-something-year-old coach with the ripped 6-pack that goes out drinking with all the members at the end and is like, kind of has his new prospect each month. Like that should involve a conversation with that individual coach. But if you have somebody who's attracted to each other and is developing a relationship, you should probably just let that continue on.
I'm marrying my coach in a week and a half, Chase Bryan. Tyler Watkins, I got my wife when I worked at a gym. It's going to happen.
It's awesome, guys. Good for you. I mean, what better place to meet them, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know what is interesting, though, is that we do have someone in the comments. I haven't seen him today in a gym. He goes to a gym in Spain, and he said he's had like 11 one-night stands at his gym with 11 different women. And that just seems like that could just really complicate shit.
Yeah.
Just have a client just come in and just start tearing through the, whether it's a man or a woman, just start tearing through the clientele, boning all the clientele. I mean, it's just could add some tension.
Yeah, luckily we haven't had to deal with that.
What if they're all in the same class too? Like you show up, and it's all the people
we have a
the
problem at our gym. You have a guy, some of the mentors have heard that though. Oh, we have a client at our gym and it's a problem. Oh, what's the problem? He's just tearing through all the married women. It's like, oh shit. I appreciate you coming on. I think we can train the crew if maybe I know this is a lot of your time, but maybe we can do some regular shows with you. We're very open to it. No, that's not the right word. It would be our honor to have you on like 30 minutes once a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then just let
great.
people call in. If no one calls in, we'll talk about cat wheels. But what time zone are you in? What time is it where you're at?
Eastern. It's 10 to 12.
Okay, so you're 3 hours ahead. I think it might be better also maybe to do a nighttime show.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Try it out, a nighttime show and see if, we did get a good group of callers, but if we do a nighttime show, maybe more people will also call in because they won't be in the middle of their workday.
Yeah. Great, guys. Happy to serve. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Good luck with the summit. I really, really, really do appreciate the invite. I really do want to go. It's my own personal pathology that's keeping me from leaving anywhere that I can't drive.
Totally understand. I mean, yeah, I get that today for sure. But it's always just the journey, right? Like once you're there, it's amazing. And so I'm gonna take an overnight flight to Stockholm tonight. And when I get there tomorrow, I will be extremely excited to see all the CrossFit affiliates, our team members, and other gym owners too.
Is it too late for people to attend that?
I think they can possibly still get tickets at coachescongress.com. Yeah, I think so. Ben Bergeron's also speaking at this one. And there are a lot of speakers for sure. Like there are several really big and important mentors on our team going to speak.
Awesome. All right, dude.
Yeah.
I look forward to speaking with you again soon. We'll be sending out a text and reschedule something in like a month.
Wonderful. Thank you. Take care.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris.
See ya.
We could do that quite a bit. We didn't even get to some of the questions on Instagram or anything too. So there's lots of room there.
Tons of questions.
Yeah, tons of stuff. And you could go so many different angles with it, right? There's so much meat on the bone for this topic.
Flying messes with Sevy's arthritis. Not true, but I appreciate it. I have enough excuses. I don't need yours. Thank you. Alaska Last Frontier Homestead. A friend of mine and coach slept with several of the female athletes in the gym we attended. And 2 men. Oh, that's fine. That's cool. DEI.
Their house is on stilts.
You can't smoke it on the plane. I don't smoke, but I
don't know where'd that come from.
Does the what if your CF coach what if your CF coach started coaching you at a young age and you are now married once they are legal age?
Okay, guys. I knew where that's what was going. I can already see it in the comments. It's like I said what I said.
I'm getting torn up over on YouTube. Like I did something.
Will had a great question that we gotta.
Like I did something.
We gotta open up.
Hi, Kat. What's up, girl? Long time no see. Sevy, the marriage counseling show is back on today. Topic: sex. Oh, good. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Sousa's underwear are too tight and he's very uncomfortable. Andrew, how would you know? How the fuck do you know about Sousa's underwear? Remember that bloke affiliate owner who was taking pictures of members' arses and posting them? No, send me a link for investigative purposes. Okay, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, Will had a good question about like the 30 million new CrossFitters that Don has his sights set on. And that would have been a great question for Chris to kind of dissect. Like, is that just a slogan? How is he going to get there? Is there data back that you could do that? You know, just those type of questions of breaking that down and unpacking it for us.
30, yeah, that is.
Because I mean, and it was a good point, right? Who was it? Was it Hari, the affiliate owner that we had on? And he was, let's say, ass hat.
Oh, that's Hiller got me that. It just sits on my, just hanging
awesome. Um,
Carlos, hi. Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you for your contribution to the show on all aspects, not just the money, but your comments also. Thank you.
But yeah, he had said like, hey, that's a really great Hari from New York CrossFit or CrossFit New York. And he was like, yeah, that's a great slogan. But the question is like, how are you making that happen? Like, what are the steps that are going to take to bring in 30 new million CrossFitters?
I'm going to help all women to get liberated and be strong. I'm going to get 30 million women to, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, show me, do it.
30 million.
Like what, how, where?
Insurance, worldwide.
Yeah.
Just like business slogans.
Hey, it's the people who are going to have the biggest podcast show in the world, and they bought all the equipment, but they're just not doing podcasts.
Yep.
It's just
you got the room, you got all the fancy stuff, and you talk about it a lot, but you just don't sit in the seat and make it happen, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, someone sent me a DM, no, a text, and they're like, "Hey, because Garrett Clinton is thinking about doing a podcast," and they're like, "Why don't you bring someone like that in on your channel and let them make a podcast on your platform and let them do one a week there?" Like, just basically.
Yeah, I think after their first 100 episodes, we'd consider that.
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
She proves herself, does 100 episodes, we support it, we watch them, and then we're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, or like 50, she gets through that first like year,
Right.
6 months if you do it twice a week or once a week.
Yeah.
Because the thing is like, and if
I
Jeff
love the
Baker
thought of
in
that, though, by the
comments.
way. I
Yeah, I think
love the
it's
thought of that?
great.
Especially someone like her with such like a unique perspective that would be valued by a ton of people.
Yeah, and I mean, we've always talked about this being more of a network than a singular focus, right? Like there's lots of different avenues and people who could host the shows and could have its own flavor and spinoff. But I just think that the first thing is just consistency, because it's people think this is a lot of like, oh, this is fun, I'm going to have this and all this is going to happen. And they don't realize the work and discipline that it actually takes to get something like this going.
I remember the CrossFit Games behind the scenes guy who tastefully would let the camera drift up and down as female athletes would walk by, the good old days. Listen, I don't like the way you worded that at all. Can I tell you something?
A lot there.
I'm going to tell you something. 100%. 100%. 100%. I probably shouldn't do this on Chris's podcast because it's just. But thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate how you said tastefully, but I appreciate it. I mean, thank you for the money, Michael C. I'm so misunderstood. I don't even think like that at all. No, I'm not going to do it. Not now. We'll start another one. Dude, I'm so excited about our podcast Thursday, Hiller. Oh, shut it, David. It's not like that. I don't even think like that. I'm 51 years old. I've never looked at a girl on the street and been like, started like doing her in between my ears. And never, not once. I just don't do that. I've never thought, oh, I'm going to film this girl's like ass because it's her ass. Like, I don't think of filming the ass any different than like the face or the back or the knees or it would be like 90. Yeah, I'm triggered. Yeah, no, too late. I am triggered. I'm triggered. It was all about camera movement to me, or 99% of the time it was about camera movement to me. And if I did a slow-mo that showed an ass jiggling, it had nothing to do with the ass. It was just like, I'd be like, holy shit, look at that mound of flesh like moving. If I saw calves jiggle like that, it was the same way. And then so people would be like, oh, it's perverted or it's the ass. You bring that to that. And I'm glad you bring that to that. Enjoy that. But I'm not doing that. I'm not even thinking like that in the slightest. Yesterday, I was filming Avi's calves as he was walking. I couldn't believe his calf development and how it went down into his Achilles tendon. His Achilles tendon is massive for an 8-year-old boy. It's like a grown-ass man from all the jumping. It's like it's thicker than mine. And he's just a little boy. And I was filming it. And now I'm thinking like, oh, if that was a girl, someone would be like, you're perving out on her. No, I'm fucking looking at the Achilles tendon. It's just like... But I'm glad you guys like it. You can enjoy like the ass bouncing around for you if that's what like you want to run over and put your face in it, eat a bowl of cereal out of it, do what like yeah. I like looking at armpits. I love Kate Gordon's big ass fucking crazy armpits.
Yeah, you're more of a hamstring guy anyways. They don't know shit.
I do like a hamstring. Hey, going back to what Susan was saying about the difficulty of running a show, you know, you have these two powerhouses, Katrin David's daughter and the daughter podcast. Let's look. The Katrin David's daughter and Annie Thor's daughter. A fucking beautiful camera setup. Two fucking amazingly beautiful women. Super accomplished. Fucking crazy articulate. Shitload of followers. But I'm just gonna look in real time what their. I haven't looked, but they started a podcast. And let me see. I'm trying to see when the last time they did one. Episode 5, right here, 18,000 views 2 months ago.
And that's their last one. That's the most recent one.
Yeah, that's the most recent one. Oh no, well they did something at Wadapalooza. This isn't really on them.
Oh yeah, that was
this one two months ago.
Yeah.
But that shit's hard, man.
It is. I was trying to see because there was something like a certain percentages because like podcasts start all the time, but there was like this massive filter system to get past the first 25 episodes. So it was like if 100 podcasts start, you know, only 5 of them make it past 25 consistent episodes or something like that.
Michael C., you get another $5 for the trauma I caused you. I'm so sorry, Sevi. I love you. Don't be a pussy. Okay, thank you. I can't help it. I am what I am. I am what I am.
And I think we're even seeing that not making it past the first 25 episodes with the daughters and those people, and they have massive like feedback for their podcast. Like they started and it was like 50,000 views, right? So like, are you willing to
maybe
also,
even more? Yeah, maybe even more. Yeah.
So are you willing to do those first 25 episodes and know that nobody's going to watch it? I mean, I did it for 3 years, once a week from 2017. I started on New Year's Eve, and the most watched one of all time was when I did yours 3 years after that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. It got all 200 views. It was crazy.
Same with Coffee Pods and Wads. I'm a needle mover.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, can you text to Jeff? Do you have my phone number? How do you not have my phone number? Can you DM me that, and then I'll DM you my phone number, and then so you can text me stuff like that, like workouts. I am a man of your senior position. I think I belong. I would appreciate to know any workouts you have for me. Oh, here it is. Barry put it in there. 100 cal row, 50 dumbbell snatches, 14 minutes. 100 cal row. Oh,
what's this?
What's what?
That workout that you're eating.
Oh, Jeffrey Birchfield was saying he sent me a workout, and I think Barry is saying, like, since I didn't see it, I think Barry's like just doing me a service and like bringing it back up. Here's the thing with Katrin and Annie. You have to, and this was the cool thing about hanging out with Greg. You have to give people, if you're going to do a podcast and do it regularly, you have to give the machine input, right? So someone has to ask Annie and Katrin, hey, there was no rape in Iceland. There was less than 3 rapes in Iceland a year. And all of a sudden your immigration policy changed. And now you let in, I think it's people from Portugal, gypsies from Portugal or somewhere. This is like 15 years ago. And all of a sudden rapes quadrupled. What are your thoughts on that? And it's like, it's fucking hard to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But you the whole thing of the podcast is, for some reason, you like the person you're watching, right? And you want to give them input and then see what comes out the other side.
Mm-hmm.
What does Sevan think? What does Sevan think about tattoos? What does Sevan think about anal? What does Sevan think about opening a CrossFit gym in San Francisco? There's some enjoyment of watching my process or work. And so how much risks am I willing to make to let you or myself put stuff in and then be intimate enough and vulnerable enough to then spit it out? And how much perspective can I bring to it based on my life experiences? That's another thing, problem with talking to young people. You hold up a Rubik's Cube and they may only look at it from one side, right? Mm-hmm. Everything that they've seen on YouTube about the Rubik's Cube.
Mm-hmm. As
opposed to the time when I was in India and I saw an elephant take a shit and a Rubik's Cube fell out of his ass. And it's like, it's because I was in India and I was around elephants.
There's more than one side to that Rubik's Cube.
Yeah. So
moving around.
What does Sevan think about cable ties? Love them. Love them.
Oh my gosh, there's figuring you crap out that cord back behind you.
Oh, is that what that is? Asshole. Hey, listen. Listen. Is that what he's? Oh my goodness.
Hey, what are you doing on Saturday? Can I come over?
Yeah.
I
This
got a
Saturday?
bunch of stuff I need to bring you. Yeah.
What is this Saturday? Let me see.
And then I'm going to fix that cord for everybody.
Here's the thing. I want to buy more. This is like audio foam. I want to buy more audio foam and just put a piece underneath this, and then you won't even see it.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It
would just blend.
Saturday is the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see you Saturday.
Okay, cool. I'm going to try to make that happen.
But bring your bathing suit. We'll go to the beach.
Yep. Oh, that sounds awesome. Real quick too. Oh my gosh, if I say this, you're probably gonna give me so much shit for this. So, with my schedule getting super busy, I love being able to talk to and field all this stuff. And yes, SwayFit.
No, he has no time for you. No,
Vanessa, I would love to. There's a little link in my Instagram. It's actually to a calendar, and it's linked to my Google Calendar, so it has a couple open slots in there. So if you click that, I knew you're gonna do this, and I felt like such a douche putting it in there, but I didn't have a choice.
No, do not. He doesn't have time for any of you.
Oh my goodness. And I was like, I put it in the link in my thing, and I was like, damn it, I'm gonna put this up, and then they'd be like, oh, you're a big influence now. You gotta mark account.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about that. I know you're not doing it for that. I know you're doing it to be nice. What the fuck? Where's Souza? How come you don't come up in my shit? Do I not follow you?
D'Souza, Dinesh. No, just kidding.
Oh.
You probably have to type my whole name, H.
Wait, don't I just put in M? What's your Instagram account? Isn't it M Souza?
No, it's my whole name. Yeah, MATTH, 2 T's, HEW. And the Souza's actually, the O is a 0. That's probably why it didn't pop up. Because see that guy took it from me. A bunch of people took it. There it is.
So where do I go? Schedule
an
appointment.
Calendly.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
So if you click it, it'll take you, and then you could select a time. I mean, it's synced up with my calendar. Also,
these are open days?
Yeah.
How come I can't choose Saturday?
Because I'm on the live call with you, and I'm going to your house.
Oh, wow.
I try to update it.
Do not use this.
Because, like, if you look, there's a couple of other things that are still there that aren't actually open slots. Somebody asked me for my TikTok handle the other day.
Oh shit! There goes my phone number. Oh shit! You can't see it.
You can't see it.
Oh my God!
Yep,
I just went over. Oh my God! I just went over and scheduled the time, and I saw my phone number pop on the screen. I was like, oh, I fucked myself. Do you guys know? Have I ever told a story about what happened between me and Rory about how I gave out his phone number online?
What are you doing now? You gonna give out your number?
No.
You don't need to book a time. You just power call me. You know how to do it.
Yeah, that's true. Stop helping people besides me. All right. No. Okay, confirmed.
Now I'm just gonna get flooded with a bunch of fake ones of these. Oh my goodness.
One time on the CrossFit podcast, I had Rory on, McKernan on, the guy over there. I think he's the manager of the
Your thing just came through.
Mayhem Empire. Awesome. Rory is 75 hard, man. His body's crazy. And so he was on the podcast, and we were FaceTiming each other. Even though he was on the podcast, we were playing around with FaceTime, and I showed my phone, and you could see his phone number. And then the show went live, and he said, "Hey, why didn't you cut my phone number out? Because we didn't do that show live." And I said, "Oh, sorry, it was an accident." And he goes, "It wasn't an accident." And I go, "Yeah, of course it was an accident." And I got all really defensive and puffy chested, which, like, for me to Rory is like this. And he's like, "Hey, would that have happened if it was Greg or Dave's phone number?" And I was fucked after that. I was like, "Nope, you win, checkmate." And that was the end of me. And I think since then we had some sort, and I admitted it. I was like, "Nope, it wouldn't have." All right, I lose that argument. And that I think since then that was like basically. Yeah, even though I defended him many times, he had some pretty fucked up shit happen to him at CrossFit.
And did a lot of people call? And did he have
and I
to
defended him? No. A lot of people didn't call. like
Oh,
like
okay.
less than a handful. But he still wanted his privacy, and for what
I get that.
but also he is the kind of person where he deals in the metric of respect, and and for him he may have felt disrespected. You know what I mean? It may have not even had anything to do with the phone number.
Because especially too when you were like, would that happen to Dave and Greg, and you were like, nope, and then he was like, okay, so you view me as beneath them almost. You know?
Maybe something like that. Yeah, exactly.
In the hierarchy of respect. He wasn't like, I knew a dude that got fresh out of prison and almost started a fight with a convenience store worker because he wouldn't look him in the eye.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was like, "You're me a man. You're gonna look me in the eye. Why don't you look me in the eye?" And like got all like hot and heavy because he was being disrespectful. I don't think Roy's done time though.
That's hardcore.
Yeah. This is exciting. About damn time. Yeah, are you gonna talk about this at all, or
No, not really.
okay? I mean, I know. I think I know what's going on. I just met here.
Yeah. This this rig is pretty crazy. So this is just a piece of metal down here, and then this is a handle, and I have tons of stuff like this. Sousa is my witness. You cannot imagine how much camera stuff I have. I'm like a store.
Yeah, Radio Shack. I literally said that last time.
Yeah.
You have a Radio Shack inside there.
Anyway, and I have so many of these DJI cameras and DJI-2 cameras and shit like that just from previous life. So recently, I saw that you could hook up a microphone to their newest iteration of this camera. And this camera has a gimbal on it. This is a camera and gimbal in one. And actually, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this camera, it would be nice if this camera was just even a little bit bigger. So the screen would be bigger, like twice this size. But basically, I've hooked up this professional microphone, and I have a wireless microphone for 2 different channel recording. I have this camera that shoots in 4K on a gimbal, and then I have this other camera that shoots on a gimbal. And then I have other ones. And so I've started making, and I just thought this is like camera porn for people who are into cameras and video equipment.
Yeah, I like that. Some of my favorite photos was when you would be at the hotel at the games, and you'd have that all your stuff laid out.
And just post pictures of it?
A picture of it, yeah. Because then I would like zoom in and look at it and be like, okay, what is he using? Okay, should I get that? Oh, that shit's way too expensive for me to buy. Okay. I'll stick with my phone.
And look at Avi's film. You can see Avi's really got into filming. So this camera I carry around so he can use it now.
Oh, that's cool.
But basically and he's always like, is that going to be in your new movie? Is that stuff I shot going to be in your new movie? He's always that. But
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm documenting some stuff. I'm going to, I'm pretty pumped up. Halpin, those little Osmos are great. Is that what they're called?
I
thought the Osmo was the one that your phone went on.
No, I think he's right. I think it's just that little DJI camera. I think it's called the Osmo.
DJI technology. Let's see. DJI. Oh yeah. So just to clarify, and I don't know if Halpin was talking about what I was showing, but this is the Osmo, which is slightly different and much less expensive. This thing basically holds your phone. This thing is awesome.
Yeah.
I have one of these too. I don't use it because I have a case on my phone and I have the big phone. If I had a little phone with no case, I would use this thing all the time. It's just a pain in the ass with the
case.
With the case. But man, for $159, this thing is crazy.
Yeah.
This thing is, I mean, if you want smooth shooting, the thing that I have is not the Osmo. I have this is the stuff I've been using. These are DJI pockets.
Oh, okay.
And then I got this one with this creator combo. You need this thing. If you're going to do any real shooting, you need that thing right there. If you're going to do any professional shooting, what that allows you to do is start hooking up professional mics. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh fuck.
So like you have that on the camera, then you clip a mic onto somebody else or something like that.
Yeah,
receiver,
I put a shot. You look at like in that picture I had, I can hook 2 mic. I made it so I can hook 2 mics up to it. Well, now that you're interested, I'll share with you. This is really cool. I think what I've done. I'm pretty proud of myself. Let me see if I can find back to that Sevan Rinsta. So basically this camera here, right?
Mm-hmm.
This camera here that you see right here that I'm circling with the X. If you right there on this left-hand side, there's a plug that comes out,
Mm-hmm.
and I hook it to
Like the receiver for the mics or something.
To the receiver, and that receiver has 2 wireless mics hooked up to it.
Ah, okay, that's cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
and one of them I plug into the shotgun mic. Oh, so there it is. That thing is plugged into the camera,
Mm-hmm.
and then this thing has 2 wireless mics hooked up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the wireless mics I have mounted here, and I plug in the shotgun mic, and the other one I just have sitting here on this bench, and I could clip it on anyone. Clip it on myself, clip it on my subject. I could attach it to another shotgun mic, then put it on a boom pole.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked.
Crazy how small it all is now too, right?
Yeah.
Like all that just fits in your pocket. It's incredible.
Yeah. I'm just documenting some stuff. I'm just documenting some things. But I think it'll be I think I'll be able to turn to something feature length. Thanks. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about the way I have it set up. I'm very excited. Where do you clip it if they're naked? You need a
They wear a necklace.
A boom. Well, you could do that, yeah. Or a boom operator. The necklace is not a uncommon method. No porn. No porn. All right. Tomorrow. Wow, we made it through the week.
Yep. Kinda. It's a Wednesday. We got some.
Tomorrow we'll be able to talk about anything and everything. It's gonna get crazy tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's Thursday.
And
we have 2 shows: live call-in show and then a State of the Union show in the evening. Oh, we have a show tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and you got disc golf.
Okay, we have a disc show to go. Oh, and I need to prepare for that right now.
The disc golf show.
Can I show you one more thing just while I'm indulging myself? Have you seen this? Have you seen this?
What? I don't see.
Oh, yeah. Shit, sorry. Have you seen this?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Is this ridiculous?
Yes. I just keep, like, what I was telling you before, I was like, there's gonna be this tipping point, and he's just gonna be like exponentially, like, it's just gonna be like, holy shit, where did all these tricks and how did all this come in? And when I watched that, I thought I saw it on Haley's though. Is it the same one?
She may have reposted it.
Okay.
This is all one run.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, this thing is crazy. Here we go.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to clear that whatever that thing is called, the tabletop. He's just trying to clear it. Pyramid. And he's been trying for like over a year.
Oh my god.
And now he clears it, and I can't even believe it.
So look at this. Then resets.
Yeah.
Stops.
And then he was working on that grind for about an hour before he was able to get that grind. I'm just so proud of him.
That's my favorite right there.
The manual.
Yeah.
So sick. Oh my god. It's so crazy.
It's getting crazy. I love watching him evolve and skate.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah. And people don't realize how actually hard that is. Everything
dude,
on there is
hard.
Really, really tough. Like, he's so fluent, it looks like the board's an extension of him. So he just kind of floats around and stuff like that. And you kind of look at it and you're like, okay, but that's hard. That's hard to do. The timing to clear that pyramid and the balance for the manual coming up the lip that way, and then to be able to control the board across to back down. That's not, he makes it look easy. It's not.
I'm guessing he's been riding for 3 years, and I'm going to say he rides an hour every other day on average. That's like almost like 1,000 hours of, no, maybe not that much. Maybe 1,000 hours of effort.
Yeah. Has he gotten his ollie down yet?
No.
He's going to get that ollie down, and that's the linchpin. He's going to get that down,
Yeah.
and he's going to start jumping over boards. He's going to start jumping off shit, and then the flip tricks will come. And then it's going to be amazing.
He has a 1-inch ollie, right? So he can jump off of big things, but he can't clear things like more than 4 stairs. He can't jump more than 4 stairs or anything like that. But he can't do like a legit ollie, like, you know, where you.
Not yet, but once he gets that foot slide and the pop timing down where he can get the board to lift, he'll get that. And it'll be, because all of a sudden it'll go from like, I'm telling you, it's just that little tipping point, and he gets that in the linchpin. It's like this whole world opens up of tricks. It's like he moved to this next level, and he doesn't even know what's going to be there. And then he'll learn fakie, he'll learn nollie, get him to start skating switch soon if you already have it.
He's skating switch and fakie, dude. It's crazy. He's dropping in. He's doing 7-foot drop-ins fakie. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's
gonna be
fucking
really
nuts.
cool.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm actually going to spend about an hour prepping for the Frisbee golf shows that we're gonna do tonight, and then it's off to the skate park. And I will see you guys later. Yeah, Pro Tag is crazy. I've watched Pro Tag. Pro Tag is crazy. Yeah, I've watched some of it. It's the athleticism is nuts. All right, guys. Talk to you guys soon. Chris Cooper, thank you for coming on. To bring their fucking A game tomorrow. We're gonna go. We'll go hard. I know people want to tear me up a little bit, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for a spiritual, physical shedding. Let's do it tomorrow. Love you guys, and talk to you soon. Susan, thanks for coming on. Bye bye.